Long before the age of science and reason, ancient civilizations looked to the shadows and saw more than just darkness. They saw monsters. These weren't mere figments of imagination, but powerful symbols of the fears, struggles, and mysteries that defined their world. Take the Minotaur, for example, a creature so terrifying it was locked away in a labyrinth, feeding on human flesh. But the Minotaur wasn't just a monster. It was a manifestation of deeper anxieties, a reflection of the chaos and danger lurking just beyond the edge of the known world. Across cultures, from the deserts of Egypt to the forests of Scandinavia, mythological creatures emerged as both warnings and explanations, shaping the way people understood their place in the universe. In this video, we're diving into the stories of 40 of the most feared mythological beings from ancient civilizations. Each one carries a unique tale, a glimpse into the minds of those who created them, and a reminder of how these ancient fears still echo in our modern world. From the serpent-like dragons of the East to the shadowy spirits of the Americas, we'll explore how these creatures were more than just legends. They were mirrors of the human experience. Get ready for a journey through time where every myth holds a lesson and every monster tells a story. Let's uncover the secrets of the past, one terrifying creature at a time. Deep within the winding corridors of the labyrinth, the Minotaur waited, a monstrous fusion of man and beast, its very existence a testament to the darkest corners of human imagination. This creature, half human and half bull, was born from a union as strange as it was tragic. Queen Pasiphae, cursed by the gods, fell in love with a bull, and from this unnatural pairing, the Minotaur emerged. But this wasn't just a tale of divine punishment. It was a story that spoke to the fears of an entire civilization. The labyrinth, designed by the brilliant inventor Daedalus, wasn't just a prison for the Minotaur. It was a symbol of the chaos and confusion that lay at the heart of human existence. The Minotaur, with its insatiable hunger for human flesh, represented the primal, uncontrollable forces that threatened to consume order and reason. Theseus, the hero who dared to face the Minotaur, became a beacon of hope in this world of darkness. Armed with nothing but a sword and a ball of thread, he ventured into the labyrinth, determined to slay the beast and free his people from its terror. His victory over the Minotaur wasn't just a triumph of strength, it was a triumph of cunning and strategy, a reminder that even the most fearsome monsters could be defeated with courage and ingenuity. But the Minotaur's story didn't end with its death. It lingered in the collective memory of the ancient Greeks, a symbol of the chaos that could erupt when power was misused and boundaries were crossed. Scholars suggest that the Minotaur may have reflected the anxieties of the Minoan civilization, which thrived on the island of Crete. The labyrinth, with its endless twists and turns, mirrored the complexity of Minoan palaces, while the Minotaur itself may have symbolized the fears of a society grappling with the balance between order and chaos. Even today, the Minotaur's influence can be seen in modern depictions of monsters. Its hybrid form has inspired countless tales of creatures that defy the natural order, from werewolves to chimeras. The labyrinth, too, has become a powerful metaphor in literature and film, representing the challenges and uncertainties of life. The Minotaur's story is a reminder that monsters aren't just creatures of fantasy. They are reflections of the fears and struggles that define us as humans. And as we leave the labyrinth behind, another beast from Greek mythology emerges from the shadows, ready to take its place in the annals of terror. From the monstrous form of the Minotaur, we now turn to one of the most iconic figures of Greek mythology, Medusa, the Gorgon with a gaze that could turn any living being to stone. Unlike the Minotaur, who was born from chaos, Medusa's story begins with beauty. Once a stunning maiden, she served as a priestess in the temple of Athena, revered for her grace and devotion. But her fate took a tragic turn when she caught the eye of Poseidon, the god of the sea. What followed was a chain of events that would transform her from a symbol of purity into one of terror. After an encounter with Poseidon in Athena's temple, the goddess, enraged by the desecration of her sacred space, cursed Medusa, turning her hair into a nest of writhing snakes and granting her the power to petrify anyone who dared to meet her gaze. Medusa's transformation was not just physical, it was a punishment that isolated her from the world, forcing her to live as a monster in a cave, far from the society that once admired her. The tale of Medusa's downfall is inseparable from the story of Perseus, the hero tasked with bringing her head to King Polydectes. Armed with a mirrored shield from Athena, winged sandals from Hermes, and a sickle from Hephaestus, Perseus ventured into Medusa's lair. Using the reflection in his shield to avoid her deadly gaze, he decapitated her in her sleep. But even in death, Medusa's power endured. From her severed neck sprang Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, the golden giant, symbols of her lingering influence. Her head, still capable of turning enemies to stone, became a weapon wielded by Perseus in his later adventures. This duality, her beauty and her terror, has made Medusa one of the most enduring figures in mythology, a symbol of both vulnerability and vengeance. Medusa's story resonates far beyond her petrifying gaze. In classical texts, she is often depicted as a cautionary figure, a warning against hubris and the wrath of the gods. But modern interpretations have reclaimed her as a symbol of female rage and empowerment. Scholars and feminists argue that Medusa's transformation and exile reflect the societal fear of women who defy expectations or challenge authority. Her snake-covered head, once a mark of shame, has become an emblem of resistance, a reminder that even the most vilified figures can be reimagined as powerful and misunderstood. As the Roman poet Ovid wrote in his Metamorphoses, her beauty was her undoing, yet even in her monstrous form, she commands a terrible respect. The symbolism of Medusa extends even further, touching on the fear of the unknown and the otherworldly. Her ability to turn men to stone represents the paralyzing effect of fear itself, freezing its victims in place. The snakes that crown her head are often associated with chaos and transformation, creatures that shed their skin and emerge renewed. Medusa, in her final form, embodies the tension between beauty and danger, order and chaos, life and death. Her story is a mirror held up to humanity, reflecting our deepest fears and the ways we attempt to control or destroy what we cannot understand. As we leave Medusa's cave, her story lingers, a haunting reminder of the power of transformation and the consequences of divine wrath. But the world of mythology is vast, and another creature, equally fearsome and transformative, awaits. This being, too, embodies the fear of the unknown, but its tale is rooted in a different culture, a different set of beliefs. From the petrifying gaze of Medusa, we move to the shadowy realms of the Norse, where a creature of fire and destruction looms large in the minds of the ancient Scandinavians. The Chimera is a creature that defies the very laws of nature, a grotesque fusion of lion, goat, and serpent, its body a patchwork of terror that seems to embody chaos itself. Emerging from the rugged mountains of Lycia in ancient Anatolia, this fire-breathing monstrosity was more than just a mythical beast. It was a living nightmare, a symbol of the unpredictable and destructive forces of the natural world. Imagine a creature with the powerful body of a lion, its mane ablaze with flames, the head of a goat jutting from its back, and a serpent's tail that hissed and writhed as if it had a mind of its own. This was the Chimera, a being so fearsome that it struck terror into the hearts of even the bravest warriors. In Lycian mythology, the Chimera wasn't just a random monster, it was a manifestation of the region's harsh and volatile landscape. The Lycians lived in a land of earthquakes, volcanic activity, and wildfires, and the Chimera became a way to personify these natural disasters. Its fiery breath mirrored the destructive power of volcanic eruptions, while its hybrid form symbolized the unpredictable blending of forces that could erupt without warning. To the ancient Lycians, the Chimera wasn't just a mythical creature. It was a reminder of their vulnerability to the whims of nature. The Chimera also played a significant role in ancient art and literature, often depicted as a creature of chaos and disorder. In Homer's Iliad, the Chimera is described as a thing of immortal make, not human, lion-fronted and snake behind, a goat in the middle, and snorting out the breath of the terrible flame of bright fire. This vivid imagery captures the essence of the Chimera as a symbol of fear, not just of nature, but of the unknown and the uncontrollable. Scholars suggest that the Chimera's hybrid form may have represented the blending of different fears into one overwhelming entity, a physical embodiment of the anxieties that plagued ancient societies. Its very existence challenged the boundaries of the natural world, forcing people to confront the idea that not everything could be easily categorized or understood. The Chimera's story is closely tied to the hero Bellerophon, who, with the help of the winged horse Pegasus, managed to slay the beast, but even in its defeat, the Chimera's legacy endured. Its image appeared on coins, pottery, and sculptures, a testament to its enduring power as a symbol of chaos and transformation. In ancient art, the Chimera often served as a visual metaphor for the struggle between order and disorder, a reminder that even the most stable societies could be undone by forces beyond their control. Today, the Chimera continues to captivate our imagination, its hybrid form inspiring countless stories and interpretations. Its name has even entered our modern vocabulary, used to describe anything that combines disparate elements into a single, often contradictory entity. The Chimera reminds us that fear is not always singular. It can be a complex, multifaceted force, shaped by the blending of different anxieties and uncertainties. As we move from the fiery breath of the Chimera, we find ourselves drawn to another creature, this time from the icy realms of Norse mythology, where a different kind of terror awaits. In the frozen lands of the Norse, where the gods themselves trembled at the thought of what was to come, there was one creature whose name struck fear into the hearts of even the bravest, Fenrir, the monstrous wolf destined to bring about the end of the world. Born of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angabotha, Fenrir was no ordinary wolf. From the moment he was born, it was clear that he was something far more dangerous, a force of chaos so immense that even the gods could not ignore him. The Norse sagas tell of a prophecy that foretold Fenrir's role in Ragnarok, the cataclysmic event that would mark the end of the gods and the world as they knew it. It was said that when Fenrir broke free from his chains, he would devour Odin, the All-Father, and plunge the cosmos into darkness. The gods, aware of the prophecy, tried to contain Fenrir, but this was no easy task. He grew at an alarming rate, his strength and size becoming more fearsome with each passing day. The myths describe him as a wolf of unimaginable proportions, his jaws so vast they could stretch from the earth to the heavens. To prevent the inevitable, the gods devised a plan. They would chain Fenrir, but even this required cunning and deceit. The first two chains they crafted, leading and Dromi, were easily shattered by the wolf's immense power. It wasn't until the dwarves forged Gleipnir, a magical ribbon made from the sound of a cat's footsteps, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird, that the gods succeeded in binding him. But even then, Fenrir's fury was so great that he bit off the hand of the god Tyr, who had offered his own as a pledge of trust during the binding. Fenrir's story is more than just a tale of a monstrous wolf. It's a profound exploration of fate and the inevitability of destruction. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok wasn't just an end. It was a cycle, a necessary destruction that would pave the way for renewal. Fenrir, as a harbinger of this apocalypse, symbolizes the chaos that lies beneath the surface of order, a reminder that even the gods are not immune to the forces they seek to control. His binding represents humanity's attempts to tame the uncontrollable, but his eventual escape underscores the futility of such efforts. Chaos, the myths tell us, cannot be contained forever. Modern interpretations of Fenrir often delve into the psychological and philosophical aspects of his story. He has been seen as a representation of primal instincts, the untamed wilderness within us all, and even the consequences of unchecked ambition. Some scholars argue that Fenrir's binding reflects the tension between civilization and the wild, a theme that resonates deeply in today's world. Others see him as a symbol of rebellion against authority, a force that challenges the status quo and disrupts the established order. Whatever the interpretation, Fenrir's tale remains a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between order and chaos. As we leave Fenrir chained beneath the earth, his howls echoing through the halls of the gods, we are drawn to another figure from Norse mythology, a creature equally fearsome, but one whose story takes a different turn. This being, like Fenrir, embodies the fears of the Norse people, but its tale is one of cunning, deception, and the thin line between life and death. From the wolf of destruction, we now turn to the serpent that encircles the world, waiting for its moment to strike. Deep beneath the waves of the vast ocean lies a creature so immense that its body coils around the entire world, its tail forever in its mouth, a living Ouroboros, the eternal symbol of cycles and renewal. This is Jörmungandr, the Midgard serpent, one of the most awe-inspiring figures in Norse mythology. Born to Loki and Angabotha like Fenrir, Jörmungandr was no ordinary serpent. The gods, fearing his potential for destruction, cast him into the sea, where he grew so large that he encircled the earth, grasping his own tail in an endless loop. This colossal creature became a guardian of the oceans, but also a harbinger of doom, destined to rise from the depths during Ragnarok to face Thor, the god of thunder, in a battle that would shake the very foundations of the cosmos. The myths paint a vivid picture of Jörmungandr's immense power. In the poetic Edda, he is described as a serpent so vast that his movements could cause tidal waves and storms, his very existence a constant reminder of the precarious balance between order and chaos. One of the most famous tales involving Jörmungandr is his encounter with Thor. During a fishing expedition, Thor, accompanied by the giant Chimera, baited his hook with the head of an ox and cast his line into the sea. What he pulled up was no ordinary catch, it was Jörmungandr himself. The serpent thrashed and fought, and as Thor raised his hammer to strike, Chimera, terrified by the sight, cut the line, allowing Jörmungandr to slip back into the depths. This encounter foreshadows their final battle at Ragnarok, where Thor is destined to slay the serpent but will take only 9 steps before succumbing to its venom. Jörmungandr's role in Norse mythology extends far beyond his physical size and strength. He is a symbol of the cyclical nature of life and death, his endless loop reflecting the idea that destruction is often a precursor to renewal. In many ways, Jörmungandr embodies the Norse understanding of the universe as a place of constant change, where endings are beginnings and chaos is an integral part of existence. The serpent's presence in the sea also connects him to the primordial waters that many ancient cultures believed were the source of all life. In this sense, Jörmungandr is both a destroyer and a creator, a force that maintains the delicate equilibrium of the world. Serpents like Jörmungandr appear in mythologies across the globe, often representing similar themes of transformation and renewal. In ancient Egypt, the serpent Apep was the enemy of the sun god Ra, a creature of chaos that sought to plunge the world into darkness. In Hindu mythology, the serpent Shesha supports the god Vishnu as he rests on the cosmic ocean, symbolizing the infinite cycle of creation and destruction. Even in Mesoamerican cultures, feathered serpents like Quetzalcoatl were revered as bringers of knowledge and life. These parallels highlight the universal human fascination with serpents as symbols of both danger and regeneration, creatures that straddle the line between the known and the unknown. Jörmungandr's story is a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, a theme that resonates deeply in today's world. His endless loop around the earth mirrors the cycles of nature, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the eternal dance between order and chaos. As we reflect on the tales of Jörmungandr and other serpents, we are reminded that destruction is not always an end, it is often a necessary step toward rebirth and renewal. And as we leave the depths of the ocean, another creature emerges from the waters, this time from the myths of the ancient Near East, where a beast of chaos and creation awaits. In the ancient texts of the Hebrew Bible, there is a creature so vast, so terrifying, that it defies comprehension, a monster of the deep, a force of chaos that even the divine must reckon with. This is Leviathan, the primordial sea serpent whose name alone evokes images of untamed power and destruction. Described in the Book of Job as a being with scales like rows of shields, breath that sets coals ablaze, and a heart as hard as stone, Leviathan is no ordinary beast. It is a creature of myth and metaphor, a symbol of the uncontrollable forces that lie beneath the surface of the world. In the biblical narrative, Leviathan is not merely a monster to be feared. It is a challenge to the order of creation, a reminder of the chaos that predates and threatens the stability of the cosmos. The origins of Leviathan stretch back even further than the Hebrew Bible, rooted in the ancient Near Eastern myths of the Canaanites and Babylonians. In these earlier traditions, Leviathan is often associated with other sea monsters like Tiamat, the Babylonian goddess of the saltwater ocean, and Yam, the Canaanite god of the sea. These beings represent the primal, chaotic waters that existed before the world was ordered, a concept that appears in many creation myths. Leviathan, in this context, is not just a single creature but a personification of the untamed, destructive power of the sea. Its battles with gods and heroes symbolize the struggle to impose order on chaos, a theme that resonates across cultures and time periods. In Jewish tradition, Leviathan takes on additional layers of meaning. Some texts describe it as a creature that will be slain by God at the end of days, its flesh served as a feast for the righteous. This imagery transforms Leviathan from a symbol of fear into one of hope, a promise that chaos will ultimately be vanquished. In Christian theology, Leviathan is often linked to the devil, a representation of evil that must be overcome. The Book of Revelation, for example, describes a great beast rising from the sea, an image that echoes the ancient descriptions of Leviathan. This duality, its role as both a destroyer and a symbol of divine triumph, makes Leviathan a complex and enduring figure in religious thought. Scholars have long debated the significance of Leviathan in ancient texts. Some argue that it reflects the fears of a people living in a world dominated by the sea, where storms and floods could bring devastation in an instant. Others see it as a metaphor for political and social upheaval, a way to express the anxieties of a society under threat. Whatever its origins, Leviathan's influence extends far beyond its biblical roots. Its image appears in medieval bestiaries, Renaissance art, and even modern literature, where it continues to represent the struggle between order and chaos, good and evil. As we leave the swirling depths of Leviathan's domain, we find ourselves drawn to another ancient culture, one that revered and feared the waters in equal measure. In the land of the Nile, where the river was both lifeblood and potential destroyer, a different kind of sea monster emerges, a creature that embodies both creation and chaos, a being whose story is as enigmatic as the waters it inhabits. From the biblical Leviathan, we now turn to the Egyptian Apep, the serpent of darkness, whose tale is one of eternal conflict and cosmic balance. In the shadowy realms of ancient Egyptian mythology, where the line between life and death blurred, there existed a creature whose very name struck fear into the hearts of the deceased, Ammit, the devourer of the dead. Her appearance alone was enough to inspire dread. A grotesque hybrid with the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus. Each part of her form symbolized a different kind of terror. The crocodile, a predator of the Nile; the lion, a hunter of the desert; and the hippopotamus, a beast known for its unpredictable aggression. Together, they created a being that embodied the ultimate punishment for those who failed the test of the afterlife. Ammit's role was not to roam the earth or terrorize the living. Instead, she waited in the Hall of Maat, the place where souls were judged in the presence of Osiris, the god of the Underworld. Here, the hearts of the dead were weighed against the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart, heavy with sin, tipped the scales, it was deemed unworthy of eternal life, and that's when Ammit would strike. With a swift and merciless motion, she would devour the heart, condemning the soul to a fate worse than death oblivion, a complete and utter end to existence. This was the ultimate fear for the ancient Egyptians, who believed that survival in the afterlife depended on moral purity and balance. The concept of Ammit wasn't just about punishment, it was a powerful reminder of the importance of living a virtuous life. The Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and prayers meant to guide the deceased through the afterlife, often includes warnings about Ammit. One passage reads, "Beware the devourer, for she waits with open jaws to consume the hearts of the wicked." These texts served as both a guide and a caution, urging the living to adhere to Maat's principles of truth, justice, and harmony. Ammit, in this sense, was more than a monster. She was a moral enforcer, a living symbol of the consequences of one's actions. But Ammit's role also reveals something deeper about Egyptian beliefs. Unlike many other cultures which envisioned hell as a place of eternal torment, the Egyptians saw oblivion as the ultimate punishment. The idea of being erased from existence, of losing one's place in the cosmic order, was far more terrifying than any physical suffering. Ammit, as the agent of this fate, became a representation of the fragility of the soul and the high stakes of moral judgment. Her presence in the Hall of Maat underscored the belief that the afterlife was not a guaranteed reward but something that had to be earned through righteous living. Ammit's influence extended beyond the spiritual realm, shaping the way Egyptians approached death and morality in their daily lives. Funerary practices, from mummification to the placement of amulets, were all designed to ensure the deceased's heart would pass the test of the scales. Even the wealthy, who could afford elaborate tombs and offerings, were not immune to the fear of Ammit. Her image appeared on tomb walls and papyrus scrolls, a constant reminder that no amount of wealth or power could protect the unworthy from her jaws. As we reflect on Ammit's role in Egyptian mythology, we are reminded of the universal human fear of judgment and the consequences of our actions. Her story is not just a tale of an ancient monster, but a profound exploration of morality, justice, and the hope for redemption. And as we leave the Hall of Maat, another figure from the shadows of the afterlife emerges, a creature whose presence is equally feared but whose story takes a different turn. From the Devourer of Hearts, we now turn to the Guardian of the Underworld, a being whose role is to guide, protect, and sometimes terrify those who pass into the realm of the dead. In the shadowy realm of the Egyptian afterlife, where the fate of souls hung in the balance, one figure stood as both guide and guardian, Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead. With his sleek, canine form and piercing gaze, Anubis was not just a symbol of death but a crucial figure in the journey to the hereafter. His role was multifaceted: part psychopomp, guiding souls through the treacherous underworld, and part judge, presiding over the weighing of the heart ceremony. But Anubis was more than just a deity. He was a comforting presence in a world where death was not an end but a transition to something greater. The origins of Anubis are steeped in mystery and myth. Some texts suggest he was the son of Osiris, the god of the underworld, while others claim he was born to the sky goddess Nut and the earth god Geb. Regardless of his parentage, Anubis quickly became associated with funerary rites, his jackal form symbolizing both the protector of the dead and the scavenger of the desert. The jackal, a creature often seen prowling the edges of cemeteries, was a fitting emblem for a god who straddled the boundary between life and death. To the ancient Egyptians, the jackal's presence was a reminder of the thin veil separating the living from the dead, and Anubis, with his watchful eyes, ensured that this boundary was respected. Anubis's most famous role was in the weighing of the heart ceremony, a pivotal moment in the afterlife journey. In the Hall of Maat, the deceased's heart was placed on one side of a scale, balanced against the feather of Maat, the symbol of truth and justice. It was Anubis who oversaw this sacred ritual, ensuring that the scales were fair and impartial. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul was deemed worthy and allowed to proceed to the afterlife. If not, the heart was devoured by Ammit, condemning the soul to oblivion. This ceremony wasn't just about judgment. It was a reflection of the Egyptian belief in moral accountability and the importance of living a life in harmony with Maat's principles. The symbolism of Anubis extended far beyond his role in the afterlife. His jackal head, often depicted in art and hieroglyphs, was a powerful emblem of protection. The Egyptians believed that Anubis's presence could ward off evil spirits and ensure the safe passage of the deceased. This protective aspect is evident in the elaborate funerary practices of the time, where priests donned masks of Anubis during mummification rituals. These rituals, which could take up to 70 days, were not just about preserving the body but about preparing the soul for its journey. Anubis, as the god of embalming, was believed to oversee this process, ensuring that the deceased was properly prepared for the trials of the underworld. Scholars have long debated the deeper meanings behind Anubis's role in Egyptian mythology. Some suggest that his dual nature, both protector and judge, reflects the Egyptians' complex relationship with death. On one hand, death was a source of fear and uncertainty. On the other, it was a gateway to eternal life. Anubis, with his calm and steady presence, embodied this duality, offering both comfort and accountability. His image appears in countless tombs and temples, a testament to his enduring significance in Egyptian culture. As we leave the sacred halls overseen by Anubis, another figure from Egyptian mythology emerges, a creature whose story is equally steeped in mystery and reverence. This being, like Anubis, plays a vital role in the afterlife, but its tale takes a different turn, blending elements of creation, destruction, and rebirth. From the jackal-headed god, we now turn to the enigmatic Bennu bird, a symbol of renewal and the cyclical nature of existence. Rising from the sands of both Greek and Egyptian mythology, the Sphinx stands as one of the most iconic and enigmatic figures of the ancient world. With the head of a human, the body of a lion, and often the wings of a great bird, this creature embodies the fusion of intellect and power, a guardian whose very presence demands reverence and fear. But perhaps no story captures the essence of the Sphinx more vividly than the tale of Oedipus, the tragic hero who faced its deadly riddle. According to legend, the Sphinx terrorized the city of Thebes, perched on a high rock and posing a question to all who passed. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? Those who failed to answer were devoured on the spot. It was Oedipus who, with a flash of insight, solved the riddle. Man, he declared, who crawls as a baby, walks upright in adulthood, and uses a cane in old age. The Sphinx, defeated by this revelation, threw itself from the rock, freeing Thebes from its curse. But the story of the Sphinx doesn't end there. Its legacy stretches far beyond this single myth. The origins of the Sphinx are as mysterious as the creature itself. In Greek mythology, it is often portrayed as a female figure, a cunning and destructive force sent by the gods to punish the city of Thebes. Its riddles symbolize the challenges of life, the intellectual trials that must be overcome to achieve wisdom and understanding. But the Sphinx's roots run deeper, tracing back to ancient Egypt, where it took on a different form and meaning. The Great Sphinx of Giza, with its massive limestone body and serene human face, is believed to represent the pharaoh Khafre, a symbol of royal power and divine authority. Unlike its Greek counterpart, the Egyptian Sphinx was a protector, a guardian of sacred spaces and a defender against chaos. Its lion's body symbolized strength, while its human head represented wisdom and the divine connection between the ruler and the gods. The duality of the Sphinx, both destroyer and protector, reflects its complex role in ancient cultures. In Greek mythology, it is a creature of chaos, a test of wits and a harbinger of doom. In Egypt, it is a symbol of stability and order, a monument to the eternal power of the pharaohs. This contrast highlights the ways in which different civilizations interpreted the same figure, molding it to fit their own fears and aspirations. The Sphinx's riddles, whether literal or symbolic, challenge us to confront the unknown, to seek answers in the face of uncertainty. Its presence in art and literature, from ancient carvings to Renaissance paintings, speaks to its enduring appeal as a symbol of mystery and enlightenment. Modern interpretations of the Sphinx continue to explore its dual nature. Some see it as a representation of the human struggle for knowledge, a reminder that wisdom often comes at a price. Others view it as a metaphor for the mysteries of the universe, the questions that defy easy answers. The Sphinx's enigmatic smile, immortalized in countless depictions, seems to invite us to ponder the deeper meanings of existence. As the French poet Charles Baudelaire once wrote, "The Sphinx is the guardian of the threshold, the keeper of secrets that lie beyond the veil of the known." Its legacy endures, a testament to the timeless allure of the unknown. As we leave the riddles of the Sphinx behind, we turn our gaze to another ancient culture, one that also revered and feared creatures of great power and wisdom. In the fertile lands of Mesopotamia, where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers flowed, a different kind of guardian emerges, a being whose story is steeped in the myths of creation and destruction. From the sands of Egypt and the rocks of Thebes, we now journey to the cradle of civilization, where the fearsome Lamashu awaits. In the swirling, primordial waters of Babylonian mythology, where the line between chaos and creation blurred, there existed a being of immense power and mystery, Tiamat, the goddess of the saltwater ocean. She was not just a deity, she was the embodiment of the untamed, life-giving waters that existed before the world took shape. In the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation epic, Tiamat is described as the mother of all gods, a nurturing force whose vast, watery expanse gave birth to the first generation of deities. But her story takes a dramatic turn, transforming her from a creator into a fearsome dragon-like monster, a symbol of chaos that threatened to undo the very order she had helped to establish. The tale of Tiamat's transformation begins with the rebellion of the younger gods against their parents, Apsu, the god of freshwater, and Tiamat. While Apsu sought to destroy the younger gods to restore peace, Tiamat initially resisted, unwilling to harm her own offspring. But after the younger gods killed Apsu, Tiamat's grief and rage consumed her. She morphed into a monstrous form, her body growing scales, her eyes burning with fury, and her jaws capable of swallowing worlds. She created an army of demonic creatures, including the fearsome Lamu and Lahamu, and prepared to wage war against the younger gods. This was no ordinary conflict. It was a battle for the very soul of the cosmos, a struggle between chaos and order. Enter Marduk, the god of storms and the champion of the younger gods. Armed with powerful weapons and the mandate of the gods, Marduk faced Tiamat in a climactic battle that would determine the fate of the universe. The Enuma Elish describes their confrontation in vivid detail. Marduk, with his net and winds, trapped Tiamat, and with a single, decisive strike, he split her body in two. From her remains, he created the heavens and the earth, using one half of her body to form the sky and the other to shape the land. Tiamat's defeat marked the triumph of order over chaos, but her legacy endured. The waters of the earth, the rivers, and the oceans were all seen as remnants of her primordial essence, a reminder of her dual role as both creator and destroyer. Scholars have long debated the symbolism of Tiamat's story. Some see her as a representation of the chaotic forces of nature, the unpredictable and often destructive power of the sea. Others interpret her transformation as a metaphor for the fear of the unknown, the primal fear of what lies beneath the surface of the waters. The Enuma Elish, with its vivid imagery and dramatic narrative, serves as both a creation myth and a moral lesson, illustrating the importance of balance and the necessity of overcoming chaos to establish order. Tiamat's story is a powerful reminder that creation often comes at a cost, and that even the most nurturing forces can become destructive when pushed to their limits. Her influence extends beyond Babylonian mythology, resonating in the creation myths of other cultures. In the Greek myth of the Titans, for example, the primordial gods Uranus and Gaia represent similar themes of chaos and creation. The Hindu goddess Kali, with her fierce and destructive nature, also echoes Tiamat's duality as both a life-giver and a force of destruction. These parallels highlight the universal human fascination with the tension between order and chaos, and the ways in which ancient civilizations sought to understand and explain the mysteries of existence. As we reflect on Tiamat's story, we are reminded of the delicate balance between creation and destruction, and the ways in which these forces shape our world. Her legacy lives on not just in the myths of the ancient world, but in the waters that surround us, a constant reminder of her power and presence. And as we leave the primordial waters of Tiamat's domain, another figure emerges from the depths, a creature whose story is equally steeped in the myths of creation and the eternal struggle between chaos and order. From the saltwater ocean, we now journey to the rivers of Mesopotamia, where a different kind of guardian awaits. Deep within the ancient cedar forests of Mesopotamia, where the trees stretched endlessly toward the heavens, there lurked a guardian whose very presence struck fear into the hearts of all who dared to approach. This was Humbaba, a monstrous being tasked with protecting the sacred groves, his form as terrifying as the untamed wilderness he embodied. Described in the Epic of Gilgamesh as a creature with the face of a lion, the claws of an eagle, and a body covered in impenetrable scales, Humbaba was no ordinary foe. His roar, it was said, could shake the earth, and his breath was a storm that could wither crops and scatter armies. To the people of Mesopotamia, Humbaba was more than just a guardian. He was a living manifestation of nature's raw, uncontrollable power, a force that demanded respect and caution. The story of Humbaba is inextricably tied to the epic tale of Gilgamesh, the legendary king of Uruk, and his quest for immortality. Alongside his loyal companion Enkidu, Gilgamesh ventured into the cedar forest, determined to slay Humbaba and claim the sacred trees for his own glory. But this was no ordinary journey. It was a test of courage, ambition, and humanity's relationship with the natural world. The Epic of Gilgamesh paints a vivid picture of Humbaba's domain, describing the forest as a place of both beauty and terror, where the trees whispered secrets and the air hummed with ancient magic. Humbaba, as the guardian of this realm, stood as a formidable obstacle, a reminder that nature is not easily conquered. Humbaba's origins in Mesopotamian mythology reveal much about the cultural values of the time. He was not merely a monster to be feared, but a symbol of the delicate balance between civilization and the wild. The cedar forests he protected were sacred, their wood highly prized for building temples and palaces. Yet, these forests were also seen as untamed and dangerous, places where the rules of human society did not apply. Humbaba, with his fearsome appearance and supernatural abilities, embodied this duality. He was both a protector and a warning, a reminder that the natural world could be as destructive as it was bountiful. His role in the epic of Gilgamesh underscores this tension, as Gilgamesh's decision to kill him becomes a pivotal moment in the hero's journey, one that carries profound consequences. The Epic of Gilgamesh offers a haunting portrayal of Humbaba's final moments. As Gilgamesh and Enkidu close in on the Guardian, Humbaba pleads for his life, offering the heroes the cedars in exchange for mercy. But Enkidu, urging Gilgamesh to show no hesitation, convinces the king to strike the fatal blow. The text captures the tragedy of this moment, with Humbaba's dying words serving as a chilling prophecy of the suffering that will follow. "Whoever kills me," he warns, "will be cursed by the gods." This curse comes to pass as the death of Humbaba sets off a chain of events that leads to Enkidu's own demise, a stark reminder of the cost of defying the natural order. Humbaba's cultural significance extends beyond his role in the Epic of Gilgamesh. In ancient Mesopotamian art and literature, he is often depicted as a fearsome yet complex figure, a guardian whose power is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Some scholars suggest that Humbaba's story reflects the Mesopotamians' deep connection to the land and their awareness of the dangers of overexploitation. His defeat by Gilgamesh, while celebrated as an act of heroism, also carries an underlying message about the consequences of hubris and the need for humility in the face of nature's might. As we reflect on Humbaba's tale, we are reminded of the timeless themes it explores: the tension between humanity and nature, the price of ambition, and the fragile balance that sustains the world. His story, like the cedar forest he guarded, stands as a testament to the power and mystery of the natural world, a legacy that continues to resonate in our modern age. And as we leave the shadowy groves of Humbaba's domain, another figure from Mesopotamian mythology emerges, one whose story is equally steeped in the myths of creation and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. From the guardian of the forest, we now turn to the celestial realms, where a different kind of creature awaits, its tale woven into the fabric of the stars. In the shadowed corners of Greek mythology, where the line between mortal suffering and divine wrath blurs, there exists a figure whose story is as tragic as it is terrifying: Lamia, the child-devouring demon. Once a beautiful queen loved by Zeus, Lamia's life took a dark turn when Hera, Zeus's jealous wife, discovered their affair. In a fit of rage, Hera cursed Lamia, transforming her into a monstrous serpent-like creature condemned to an eternity of torment. But the curse didn't stop there. Hera, in her cruelty, also caused Lamia to lose her own children, driving her into a spiral of madness and despair. Consumed by grief and vengeance, Lamia began to prey on the children of others, her serpentine form slithering through the night as she sought to fill the void left by her own loss. Lamia's transformation is a harrowing tale of divine punishment and the devastating consequences of unchecked jealousy. Her serpent-like appearance, with eyes that could never close and a body that writhed with unnatural hunger, made her a figure of pure nightmare. Yet beneath the horror lies a deeper, more poignant narrative, one of maternal grief and the lengths to which a mother might go when robbed of her children. Lamia's story resonates not just as a cautionary tale of divine retribution, but as a powerful exploration of loss and the darker aspects of human emotion. Her insatiable hunger for children, while monstrous, is also a reflection of her own unimaginable pain, a tragic cycle of suffering that echoes through the ages. Scholars have long debated the symbolism of Lamia in Greek mythology and folklore. Some see her as a representation of the dangers of unchecked desire, a warning against the chaos that can arise from jealousy and revenge. Others interpret her as a manifestation of primal fears, particularly those surrounding motherhood and the vulnerability of children. In ancient Greece, Lamia was often invoked as a bogeyman figure, a way to frighten children into obedience. Yet her story also carries a note of empathy, reminding us that even the most fearsome monsters often have origins rooted in profound human suffering. Lamia's legacy extends beyond Greek mythology, influencing tales of child-stealing demons and vengeful spirits in cultures across the Mediterranean and beyond. Her name has become synonymous with maternal grief and the darker side of love, a testament to the enduring power of her story. As we reflect on Lamia's tragic fate, we are reminded that mythology often holds a mirror to our own fears and struggles, offering insights into the human condition that remain relevant even today. From the serpentine coils of Lamia, we now turn to the world of Roman mythology, where another creature of terror awaits. This being, like Lamia, embodies the fears and anxieties of its time, but its story takes a different turn, rooted in the myths of war and the supernatural. From the grief-stricken queen of Greece, we journey to the battlefields of Rome, where the bloodthirsty Strix casts its shadow over the night. In the shadowy realms of Greek mythology, where enchantment and horror intertwine, there exists a creature whose very nature is to deceive and terrify Medusa, the shape-shifting demon. Medusa is no ordinary monster. She is a master of illusion, capable of transforming herself into a stunningly beautiful woman to lure her victims, only to reveal her true, horrifying form when it is too late. With one leg of brass and the other of a donkey, her grotesque appearance is a stark contrast to the alluring facade she presents. Medusa's origins are tied to Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft and the underworld, who sent her forth to prey on unsuspecting travelers, particularly those who wandered alone at night. She was not merely a servant of Hecate, but an embodiment of the goddess's darker powers, a living reminder of the dangers that lurked in the unknown. The tales of Medusa often describe her haunting lonely roads, where she would appear as a seductive maiden, luring men to their doom with promises of companionship or affection. But once her victims were within her grasp, her true form would emerge, a monstrous figure with flaming hair, fanged teeth, and eyes that glowed with malice. This duality, the ability to shift between beauty and horror, made Medusa a powerful symbol of deception and the perils of trusting appearances. Ancient texts such as Aristophanes' The Frogs describe her as a creature who changes her shape at will, now a dog, now a cow, now a beautiful maiden. These accounts highlight her role as a shape-shifter, a being who exists to test the discernment and vigilance of mortals. Medusa's story is more than just a tale of terror. It is a reflection of the fears and anxieties of ancient Greek society. In a world where travel was fraught with danger and the night was a time of uncertainty, Medusa became a personification of the unknown threats that lay in wait. Her ability to deceive and destroy served as a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of naivety and the consequences of falling prey to temptation. But beyond her role as a predator, Medusa also symbolizes the darker aspects of human nature, the capacity for deceit, the allure of superficial beauty, and the ease with which even the most cunning can be ensnared by their own desires. Modern interpretations of Medusa often delve into her psychological and symbolic significance. Some scholars see her as a representation of the fear of the other, a figure who embodies the anxieties surrounding strangers and the unknown. Others view her as a metaphor for the destructive power of illusion, a reminder that not everything is as it seems. Her story resonates in contemporary culture, where themes of deception and transformation continue to captivate audiences. From literature to film, Medusa's legacy endures as a symbol of the dangers that lie beneath the surface, a cautionary figure whose lessons remain relevant even today. As we reflect on Medusa's role in Greek mythology, we are reminded of the timeless nature of her story, a tale that speaks to the human experience of fear, deception, and the struggle to discern truth from illusion. Her ability to shift forms to hide her true nature makes her a figure of both fascination and dread. And as we leave the shadowy roads haunted by Medusa, another shape-shifting creature emerges from the myths of ancient Greece, one whose story is equally steeped in transformation and mystery. From the deceptive allure of Medusa, we now turn to the cunning and ever-changing Proteus, a being whose mastery of transformation knows no bounds. From the deceptive illusions of Medusa, we descend into the shadowy depths of the underworld, where a far more formidable guardian awaits Cerberus, the three-headed hound of Hades. This monstrous canine, with his serpent-like tail and mane of writhing snakes, is no ordinary dog. He is the ultimate sentinel, tasked with ensuring that the living never enter the realm of the dead and that the dead never escape. Cerberus's very presence at the gates of the underworld embodies the finality of death, a chilling reminder of the boundary between the mortal world and the afterlife. But beyond his fearsome appearance lies a deeper symbolism, one that speaks to the dual nature of protection and terror. The origins of Cerberus are steeped in the rich tapestry of Greek mythology. Born to the primordial monsters Echidna and Typhon, he is one of many fearsome siblings, including the Hydra and the Chimera. Yet Cerberus stands apart as a unique figure, his role as the guardian of Hades placing him at the very heart of the Greek understanding of death and the afterlife. Unlike other monsters who often represent chaos or destruction, Cerberus serves a vital purpose. He maintains order, ensuring the sanctity of the underworld. His three heads are said to symbolize the past, present, and future, a reflection of how death connects all moments of existence. Some myths even suggest that each head represents a different aspect of the soul, guarding against the intrusion of the living while keeping the dead in their rightful place. Cerberus's role in Greek mythology is vividly captured in the tales of heroes who dared to confront him. Perhaps the most famous of these is the story of Heracles, who, as part of his 12 labors, was tasked with capturing Cerberus and bringing him to the surface. The encounter was not merely a test of strength but a trial of wits and courage. Heracles, guided by the gods, ventured into the underworld and, after gaining permission from Hades, subdued the beast without the use of weapons. This feat underscored Cerberus's fearsome reputation while also highlighting the hero's respect for the natural order. He returned the hound to the underworld after his task was complete, ensuring the balance of life and death remained intact. In ancient art and literature, Cerberus is often depicted as a symbol of the inescapable nature of death. His image appears on pottery, sculptures, and mosaics, each representation emphasizing his role as a boundary keeper. Classical texts such as Homer's Odyssey and Virgil's Aeneid describe him as a fearsome yet necessary presence, a guardian who ensures that the rules of the afterlife are upheld. Even in Roman culture, Cerberus retained his significance, appearing in works like Ovid's Metamorphoses as a figure both terrifying and awe-inspiring. His portrayal in these texts reflects the ancient belief in the importance of respecting the boundaries between worlds, a theme that resonates across cultures and time periods. Modern interpretations of Cerberus continue to explore his symbolic meaning. Scholars suggest that his three heads may represent the tripartite nature of the soul or the stages of life leading to death. Others see him as a metaphor for the human fear of mortality, a creature who embodies the finality that all must face. His role as a guardian also speaks to the broader theme of protection, not just of the underworld but of the natural order itself. Cerberus, in this sense, is more than a monster. He is a keeper of balance, a reminder that some boundaries are not meant to be crossed. As we leave the gates of the underworld and the watchful eyes of Cerberus, another figure emerges from the shadows, a creature whose story is equally steeped in the mysteries of death and the afterlife. This being, like Cerberus, serves as a guardian, but its tale takes a different turn, rooted in the myths of a culture that revered the journey beyond life as much as life itself. From the three-headed hound of Hades, we now turn to the eerie and enigmatic psychopomps of Egyptian mythology, guides who lead souls through the treacherous path to the afterlife. In the storm-tossed skies of Greek mythology, where the winds howl like the cries of the lost, there soared the Harpies, winged beings of both beauty and terror. With the faces of women and the bodies of birds, these creatures were more than mere monsters. They were divine instruments of punishment, sent by the gods to torment those who had earned their wrath. Their very name, derived from the Greek word harpazoin, meaning to snatch, speaks to their purpose, to seize and carry away, leaving chaos in their wake. The Harpies were not mindless predators but deliberate agents of retribution, their screeching cries and sharp talons striking fear into the hearts of mortals and immortals alike. The origins of the Harpies are as mysterious as their nature. Some myths suggest they were the daughters of Thaumas, a sea god, and Electra, an ocean nymph, linking them to the primal forces of the natural world. Others depict them as servants of the Olympian gods, particularly Zeus, who used them to enforce divine justice. One of the most famous tales involving the Harpies is the story of King Phineus of Thrace. Cursed by Zeus for revealing too much of the god's secrets, Phineus was tormented by the Harpies, who swooped down to steal or defile his food whenever he tried to eat. Their relentless attacks left him in a state of perpetual hunger and despair, a vivid example of the Harpies' role as enforcers of divine punishment. But the Harpies were more than just celestial enforcers. They were also symbols of chaos and the uncontrollable forces of nature. Their bird-like forms, with wings that could stir up storms and talons sharp enough to rend flesh, embodied the destructive power of the wind and sea. In ancient texts such as Homer's Odyssey and Virgil's Aeneid, the Harpies are often associated with storms and sudden disasters, their presence a harbinger of doom. The Roman poet Ovid, in his Metamorphoses, describes them as ravenous birds with maidens' faces, emphasizing their dual nature as both beautiful and terrifying. This duality made them powerful symbols of retribution, creatures that could inspire both awe and dread. Modern interpretations of the Harpies have expanded on their symbolic significance. Some scholars see them as representations of the chaos that arises when natural or moral order is disrupted. Others view them as embodiments of the human fear of punishment, particularly the kind that comes from forces beyond our control. Their role in mythology as agents of divine justice also raises questions about the nature of retribution and the balance between mercy and wrath. The Harpies, with their relentless pursuit of their victims, remind us that actions have consequences and that even the gods are not above using fear as a tool of enforcement. The legacy of the Harpies extends beyond Greek mythology, influencing art, literature, and even modern pop culture. Their image has appeared in everything from Renaissance paintings to contemporary fantasy novels, often as symbols of vengeance or chaos. In Dante's Inferno, they are depicted as tormentors of the damned, their screeching cries echoing through the circles of hell. These depictions highlight the enduring power of the Harpies as figures of fear and retribution, their stories continuing to resonate in the collective imagination. As we leave the stormy skies haunted by the Harpies, another creature emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in tales of punishment and transformation. This being, like the Harpies, serves as a reminder of the consequences of defying the natural or divine order, but its story takes a different turn, rooted in the rich traditions of Celtic mythology. From the winged tormentors of Greece, we now journey to the lush, mist-shrouded forests of the Celts, where the fearsome Cernunnos awaits. From the stormy skies of Greece, where the Harpies unleashed their fury, we now drift into the misty hills of Ireland, where the mournful cry of the banshee echoes through the night. This spectral figure, with her long, flowing hair and tattered robes, is no ordinary ghost. She is a harbinger of death, her piercing wail a signal that someone in the household is about to pass from this world to the next. The banshee, or bean-she in Irish, meaning woman of the fairy mound, is deeply rooted in Celtic mythology, her presence both feared and revered. Unlike other spirits who might haunt or harm, the banshee's role is specific and somber. She is a messenger, a bridge between the living and the dead, her cry a solemn reminder of mortality's inevitability. The origins of the banshee are as shrouded in mystery as the foggy landscape she is said to inhabit. Some tales suggest she is a fairy, a member of the Owl's She, the supernatural race that dwells in the hidden realms of Ireland. Others claim she is the spirit of a woman who died in childbirth or suffered a tragic fate, forever bound to mourn the living. Regardless of her origins, the banshee's appearance is consistent across stories, a pale, ghostly figure, often seen combing her long hair with a silver comb, her eyes red from weeping. Her wail, described as a blend of sorrow and warning, is said to be heard most clearly at night, carried on the wind to the homes of those destined to lose a loved one. In Irish folklore, the banshee is not a random omen. She is tied to specific families, particularly those of ancient Gaelic lineage. Her presence is both a curse and a mark of distinction, a sign that the family's history is deeply interwoven with the land and its myths. The banshee's cry is not meant to terrify but to prepare, offering a chance to say farewell or make peace before death arrives. This duality, her role as both a bringer of sorrow and a guide to acceptance, makes her a deeply symbolic figure in Celtic culture. She embodies the thin veil between life and death, a reminder that the two are inextricably linked. Modern interpretations of the banshee delve into her psychological and cultural significance. Scholars suggest that her wail may represent the collective grief of a community, a way to process the pain of loss through storytelling. Others see her as a manifestation of the human fear of the unknown, particularly the mysteries surrounding death. Her image has also been reclaimed in contemporary media, appearing in literature, film, and even music, often as a symbol of feminine power and resilience. The banshee's enduring appeal lies in her ability to evoke both fear and empathy, her story a poignant reflection of the universal experience of loss. As we listen to the fading echoes of the banshee's cry, another figure emerges from the shadows of folklore, one whose presence also heralds the approach of death. This creature, like the banshee, serves as a messenger, but its tale is rooted in a different tradition, where the boundaries between the living and the dead are equally blurred. From the misty hills of Ireland, we now journey to the dense forests of Slavic mythology, where the ominous Leshy awaits. In the misty lochs and rivers of Scotland, where the waters churn with secrets and the air hums with ancient whispers, there lurks a creature both enchanting and deadly, the Kelpie. This shape-shifting waterhorse is a master of deception, capable of transforming from a stunning, sleek steed into a monstrous, otherworldly being with a single, chilling shift. To the unsuspecting traveler, the Kelpie appears as a beautiful horse, often coated in a sheen of water, its mane glistening like silver threads under the moonlight. But this beauty is a trap, a lure to draw the curious closer to the water's edge. Once mounted, the Kelpie's true nature is revealed. Its skin becomes adhesive, its form grotesque, and it drags its victim into the depths, never to be seen again. The Kelpie's legend is a haunting reminder of the dangers that lie beneath the surface of seemingly tranquil waters. Rooted in Scottish folklore, the Kelpie's origins are as murky and mysterious as the waters it inhabits. The name Kelpie is thought to derive from the Gaelic word Caelpeach, meaning heifer or colt, highlighting its connection to livestock and the pastoral life of rural Scotland. Stories of the Kelpie often serve as cautionary tales, warning against the perils of venturing too close to the water's edge, especially at night. In some versions of the myth, the Kelpie is said to take on human form, appearing as a handsome man or a distressed woman to further entice its victims. This ability to shift between forms makes the Kelpie a particularly insidious predator, one that preys on both the physical and emotional vulnerabilities of its prey. The Kelpie's role in folklore extends beyond its function as a fearsome predator. It is also a symbol of the untamed and unpredictable nature of water, a force that can be both life-giving and destructive. In a land where rivers and lochs are central to daily life, the Kelpie embodies the dualities of these natural elements, their beauty and their danger, their necessity and their peril. Ancient Scots saw the Kelpie as a manifestation of the water's hidden power, a reminder to respect and fear the forces of nature. One traditional tale describes a Kelpie saving a drowning child, only to later claim the life of a careless fisherman, illustrating the creature's capricious and ambiguous nature. Modern interpretations of the Kelpie have expanded on its symbolic significance. Some scholars see it as a metaphor for the seductive allure of temptation, a warning against the dangers of being lured by appearances. Others view it as a representation of the unknown, the primal fear of what lies beneath the surface of the water. The Kelpie's ability to shift forms also resonates with contemporary themes of identity and transformation, making it a figure of fascination in literature and art. In modern fantasy novels and films, the Kelpie often appears as a creature of mystery, its dual nature reflecting the complexities of human emotion and experience. As we leave the dark waters of the Scottish lochs, another creature emerges from the depths, one whose story is equally steeped in the myths of water and transformation. This being, like the Kelpie, embodies the dualities of nature, but its tale takes a different turn, rooted in the folklore of a culture that revered the sea as both a giver and taker of life. From the shape-shifting Kelpie, we now journey to the stormy coasts of Scandinavia, where the fearsome kraken awakens from the abyss. Beneath the shimmering waves of the North Atlantic, where the ocean meets the rugged coasts of Scotland and Ireland, there exists a creature of both myth and magic, the Selkie. These enigmatic beings, known as the seal folk, are said to possess the ability to shed their seal skins and take on human form, stepping onto the shore as beautiful men and women. But the Selkie's story is not one of simple transformation. It is a tale steeped in themes of love, longing, and the bittersweet nature of freedom. To encounter a Selkie is to glimpse a world where the boundaries between land and sea, human and animal, blur in the most hauntingly beautiful way. The origins of the Selkie are deeply rooted in the folklore of coastal communities, where the sea is both a source of life and a realm of mystery. In Scottish and Irish traditions, Selkies are often portrayed as gentle, otherworldly beings, their seal skins allowing them to move effortlessly between the human and animal worlds. These skins, however, are not just a means of transformation, they are the key to the Selkie's identity and freedom. If a human steals a Selkie's skin, the creature is bound to the land, unable to return to the sea until the skin is found. This element of the myth has given rise to countless stories of love and tragedy, where Selkies are forced to live as humans, yearning for the ocean they can no longer reach. One of the most poignant tales involves a fisherman who discovers a Selkie's skin hidden among the rocks. Enchanted by her beauty, he hides the skin and convinces the Selkie to marry him. For years, they live together, raising a family, but the Selkie never forgets the sea. When her children eventually find her hidden skin and return it to her, she must make an impossible choice: stay with her human family or return to the ocean she loves. Stories like this highlight the Selkie's dual nature, their ability to embody both the beauty of human connection and the pull of the wild, untamed sea. Scholars of folklore often interpret the Selkie as a symbol of transformation and the search for identity. Their ability to shift between forms speaks to the fluidity of existence, the idea that we are not confined to a single way of being. For coastal communities, the Selkie also represents the sea's dual role as a life-giver and a force of separation. The ocean, while providing sustenance, often takes loved ones away, a theme that resonates deeply in Selkie tales. Modern interpretations have expanded on these themes, seeing the Selkie as a metaphor for the struggle between societal expectations and personal freedom, or even as a representation of the immigrant experience, a being caught between two worlds, never fully belonging to either. The Selkie's influence extends beyond folklore, appearing in literature, music, and film. Their haunting beauty and tragic stories have inspired countless works, from the poetry of Seamus Heaney to the novels of Margaret Atwood. In contemporary culture, the Selkie has become a symbol of resilience and the enduring power of nature, a reminder that even in a world of boundaries, there are forces that cannot be contained. As we leave the rocky shores where the Selkie dances between sea and land, another figure emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in tales of transformation and the natural world. From the seal folk of the North Atlantic, we now journey to the dense forests of Slavic mythology, where the enigmatic Leshy roams, a guardian of the wild and a master of the untamed. Deep within the dense, shadowy forests of Slavic folklore, where the trees whisper secrets and the wind carries the scent of pine and danger, there resides one of the most enigmatic figures in mythology, Baba Yaga. This fearsome witch with her iron teeth and nose so long it scrapes the ceiling of her hut is no ordinary antagonist. Baba Yaga is a being of contradictions, both a helper and a hindrance, a destroyer and a guide. Her home, a hut that stands on chicken legs and spins to face visitors, is as unpredictable as she is, a symbol of the wild and untamed forces of nature. To encounter Baba Yaga is to step into a world where nothing is as it seems, and survival depends on wit, courage, and respect for the unknown. Baba Yaga's origins are as mysterious as the forest she inhabits. Rooted in the oral traditions of Eastern Europe, her tales have been passed down through generations, each retelling adding new layers to her myth. She is often depicted as a crone, her appearance as unsettling as her reputation. Her iron teeth, a detail that recurs in many stories, evoke both fear and fascination, while her ability to fly in a mortar, steering with a pestle, adds an element of the surreal to her character. But Baba Yaga is more than just a witch. She is a guardian of the forest, a keeper of ancient knowledge, and a figure who embodies the duality of nature itself. She can be cruel, demanding impossible tasks from those who seek her help, or she can be unexpectedly kind, offering wisdom and aid to those who prove themselves worthy. One of the most famous tales involving Baba Yaga is the story of Vasilisa the Beautiful. In this narrative, Baba Yaga sets Vasilisa a series of seemingly impossible tasks, such as sorting grains or weaving cloth. Each challenge is designed to test Vasilisa's resourcefulness and resilience. Through her cleverness and the help of a magical doll, Vasilisa not only completes the tasks but also earns Baba Yaga's respect. This story highlights Baba Yaga's role as a gatekeeper of the forest's secrets, a figure who rewards those who demonstrate courage and ingenuity while punishing those who falter. It's a reminder that in the world of folklore, survival often depends on more than brute strength. It requires adaptability and respect for the natural order. The symbolism of Baba Yaga extends far beyond her role in individual tales. She is often seen as a representation of the wild, untamed aspects of the natural world, a force that is both nurturing and destructive. Her hut, with its ability to move and spin, symbolizes the unpredictability of life, the constant flux between chaos and order. The forest she guards is a place of transformation where heroes are tested and emerge changed, carrying with them the wisdom of the wild. Modern interpretations of Baba Yaga often explore her as a figure of feminine power, a being who defies societal norms and embodies the strength and complexity of women. In some retellings, she is even portrayed as a feminist icon, a witch who challenges patriarchal structures and empowers those who seek her out. Baba Yaga's influence can be felt across cultures and time periods. Her image has appeared in literature, art, and even modern media, where she continues to captivate audiences with her blend of terror and wisdom. The Russian composer Modest Mussorgsky immortalized her in his peace pictures at an exhibition, capturing her chaotic energy in a whirlwind of sound. In contemporary fantasy novels, Baba Yaga often appears as a mentor or antagonist, her character adapted to fit new narratives while retaining her core essence. Her enduring appeal lies in her complexity, her ability to embody both the light and dark aspects of existence. As we leave the spinning hut of Baba Yaga and the mysteries of the Slavic forests, another figure emerges from the shadows, a creature whose story is equally steeped in magic and transformation. This being, like Baba Yaga, is a master of the arcane, but its tale takes a different turn, rooted in the traditions of a culture where witches and spirits walk hand in hand with the living. From the untamed wilderness of Eastern Europe, we now journey to the misty moors of England, where the enigmatic figure of Morgan Le Fay awaits. In the heart of the ancient Slavic forests, where the trees stand tall like silent sentinels and the air hums with the whispers of unseen forces, there roams the Leshy, a being as enigmatic as the wilderness he commands. This towering forest spirit, often depicted as a giant with moss-covered skin and eyes that glow like embers, is no mere guardian. He is the embodiment of the forest itself, a shapeshifter who can command the trees, the animals, and even the weather. With a single breath, he can summon a storm or calm the winds. With a gesture, he can lead travelers astray or guide them safely home. The Leshy is both protector and trickster, a figure who embodies the dual nature of the wild, its beauty and its danger, its generosity and its unpredictability. The origins of the Leshy are deeply rooted in Slavic mythology, where he is revered as the Lord of the Woods. In some tales, he is said to be a descendant of the old gods, a remnant of a time when nature itself was worshipped as divine. His presence is felt in every rustling leaf, every echoing bird call, and every shadow that dances between the trees. The Leshy is not just a spirit. He is the soul of the forest, a living reminder of the power and mystery that lies within the natural world. Farmers and hunters would often leave offerings at the edge of the woods to appease him, knowing that his favor could mean the difference between a bountiful harvest and a barren season. But the Leshy is not always benevolent. As a trickster, he delights in leading humans astray, confusing their paths and disorienting them with illusions. Travelers who wander too deep into his domain might find themselves lost for days, their compasses spinning wildly and the sun seeming to move backward across the sky. Some say the Leshy does this to teach respect for the forest, to remind humans of their place within the natural order. Others believe it is simply his nature, a reflection of the wild's inherent chaos. One famous folktale tells of a woodsman who, after mocking the Leshy, finds himself trapped in an endless loop, walking in circles until he is driven to madness. It is only when he humbles himself and begs for forgiveness that the Leshy releases him, a stern lesson in the consequences of arrogance. The symbolism of the Leshy extends far beyond his role in folklore. He represents the untamed power of nature, a force that can be both nurturing and destructive. In a world where humans often seek to dominate the environment, the Leshy stands as a reminder that nature is not something to be conquered, but something to be respected and revered. Modern scholars interpret him as a symbol of ecological balance, a figure who embodies the interconnectedness of all living things. His dual nature as both protector and trickster reflects the complexity of the natural world, where beauty and danger often exist side by side. The Leshy's influence can still be felt in modern culture, particularly in regions where Slavic folklore remains a vital part of the cultural heritage. His image appears in art, literature, and even video games, where he is often portrayed as a powerful and enigmatic figure. In contemporary storytelling, the Leshy continues to captivate audiences with his blend of mystery and menace, a timeless reminder of the wild's enduring power. His story is a call to reconnect with nature, to remember the lessons of the past, and to tread lightly in the forests that have inspired awe and reverence for centuries. As we leave the shadowy groves of the Leshy's domain, we turn our gaze to another figure deeply rooted in the traditions of nature spirits, a being whose story is equally steeped in the mysteries of the natural world. From the towering forests of Slavic mythology, we now journey to the rolling hills and misty moors of Celtic lands, where the Green Man, a symbol of rebirth and the eternal cycle of life, awaits to share his tale. Nestled in the rivers and ponds of Japan, where the water glistens under the sun and the reeds sway with the whispers of ancient tales, there lurks a creature both curious and cunning, the Kappa. This water-dwelling imp, known for its amphibious nature and mischievous behavior, is one of the most iconic figures in Japanese folklore. With a body resembling a child, a beak-like mouth, and a shell-like carapace reminiscent of a turtle, the Kappa is instantly recognizable. But what sets it apart is the small, water-filled depression on top of its head, known as the Sera. This dish-like cavity holds the key to the Kappa's strength and survival. If the water spills out, the creature loses its power, becoming helpless. This unique feature makes the Kappa a fascinating blend of vulnerability and danger, a being that embodies the delicate balance of nature. The origins of the Kappa are deeply rooted in Japanese tradition, where it is often depicted as both a trickster and a guardian. On one hand, the Kappa is notorious for its pranks, which range from harmless mischief to more sinister acts. Stories tell of Kappas pulling unsuspecting swimmers underwater or challenging humans to sumo wrestling matches, using their surprising strength to overpower their opponents. Yet the Kappa is not purely malevolent. In some tales, it is a keeper of knowledge, especially in the realms of medicine and agriculture. Farmers would sometimes leave offerings by the water's edge to appease the Kappa, hoping to gain its favor for bountiful crops. This duality, its capacity for both harm and help, makes the Kappa a complex figure, one that reflects the unpredictable nature of water itself. The Kappa's symbolism extends beyond its role in folklore. It is often seen as a representation of the duality of nature, embodying both the life-giving and destructive forces of water. Rivers and ponds, while essential for survival, can also be perilous, especially for children who might wander too close to the water's edge. The Kappa serves as a cautionary figure, a reminder to respect the natural world and its hidden dangers. At the same time, its intelligence and knowledge highlight the potential for harmony between humans and nature, suggesting that understanding and cooperation can lead to mutual benefit. This duality is beautifully captured in a traditional Japanese proverb. Even a Kappa can be a teacher, emphasizing that wisdom can come from the most unexpected sources. Modern interpretations of the Kappa have expanded its significance, transforming it from a mere folktale creature into a cultural icon. In contemporary Japan, the Kappa appears in everything from children's books to anime, often portrayed as a quirky, endearing character rather than a fearsome monster. Its image has been used in environmental campaigns, symbolizing the need to protect Japan's waterways and the creatures that inhabit them. Scholars also see the kappa as a metaphor for the human relationship with nature, a reminder that we must navigate its complexities with both caution and respect. The kappa's enduring appeal lies in its ability to adapt to changing times while retaining its core symbolism. As we leave the tranquil waters of Japan and the mischievous antics of the kappa, another creature from the rich tapestry of East Asian mythology emerges, one whose story is equally steeped in the mysteries of water and the natural world. From the rivers of Japan, we now journey to the misty mountains of China, where the majestic and enigmatic dragon kings reign over the waters of the earth. In the heart of ancient Chinese folklore, where traditions and myths intertwine, there exists a creature whose very name strikes fear into the hearts of villagers: Nyan, the monstrous beast of the Lunar New Year. This fearsome being, with the body of a lion, the horns of a bull, and eyes that glowed like fiery coals, was said to emerge from the mountains or the sea once a year, descending upon villages to wreak havoc. Nyan devoured crops, livestock, and even people, leaving destruction in its wake. But this story is not just one of terror. It's a tale of resilience, ingenuity, and the triumph of community over chaos. The legend of Nyan has become a cornerstone of Lunar New Year celebrations, its defeat symbolizing the power of unity and the courage to face adversity. The origins of Nyan are deeply rooted in Chinese mythology, where it is often depicted as a symbol of the harsh and unpredictable forces of nature. Some tales suggest that Nyan was a remnant of ancient chaos, a creature born from the untamed wilderness that threatened the fragile order of human life. Others describe it as a manifestation of fear itself, a being that thrived on the anxieties of the people it tormented. Whatever its origins, Nyan's annual rampage became a recurring nightmare for villagers until one year an old man arrived with a solution. He revealed that Nyan was terrified of three things: loud noises, bright lights, and the color red. Armed with this knowledge, the villagers prepared for Nyan's next visit, decorating their homes with red lanterns, setting off firecrackers, and beating drums. When Nyan returned, the cacophony and crimson hues sent it fleeing, never to return. This victory marked the birth of Lunar New Year traditions, from the vibrant red decorations to the explosive joy of firecrackers. The symbolism of Nyan extends far beyond its role as a mythical monster. In Chinese culture, it represents the challenges and fears that must be confronted and overcome. The Lunar New Year, with its emphasis on renewal and hope, is a celebration of resilience, a reminder that even the most daunting obstacles can be vanquished through courage and collective effort. Modern interpretations of the Nyan legend often explore its psychological and cultural significance. Folklore experts suggest that the story reflects the human need to confront and conquer fear, transforming it into a source of strength. The loud noises and red decorations, once tools to repel Nyan, have become symbols of joy and protection, a testament to the enduring power of tradition. Today, the legend of Nyan continues to inspire and captivate, its story woven into the fabric of Lunar New Year celebrations around the world. From the bustling streets of Beijing to the vibrant festivities in cities like San Francisco and Sydney, the rituals born from Nyan's defeat remind us of the importance of community, courage, and cultural heritage. As we reflect on the tale of Nyan, we are reminded that every new year brings the opportunity to face our fears, embrace change, and celebrate the bonds that unite us. From the roaring flames and crackling firecrackers that once drove Nyan away, we now turn to another creature whose story is deeply tied to the changing seasons and the cycles of nature. This being, like Nyan, embodies the fears and hopes of a culture, but its tale takes us to the frostbitten landscapes of Norse mythology, where the wild hunt thunders across the winter sky. In the lush landscapes of ancient China, where myths intertwine with the natural world, there roams a creature of unparalleled grace and benevolence, the Qilin. Often described as a chimera with the body of a deer, the tail of an ox, and the scales of a dragon, the Qilin is a mesmerizing blend of majesty and mystique. Its eyes, said to glow with the light of wisdom, and its hooves, which never harm even a blade of grass, make it a symbol of purity and peace. Unlike many mythological creatures that inspire fear, the Qilin is revered as a harbinger of good fortune, a gentle guardian whose presence heralds prosperity and harmony. The origins of the Qilin are deeply rooted in Chinese mythology, where it is celebrated as one of the 4 benevolent animals alongside the dragon, phoenix, and tortoise. Ancient texts describe the Qilin as a creature of extraordinary virtue, appearing only during the reign of a wise and just ruler or to mark the birth of a great sage. Its appearance is considered an auspicious omen, a sign that the world is in balance and that peace will prevail. The Qilin's connection to the dragon is particularly significant, as it embodies the dragon's power and nobility but tempers it with a gentle, nurturing spirit. This duality makes the Qilin a unique figure in mythology, a being that bridges the realms of the divine and the earthly. In Chinese art and literature, the Qilin holds a place of honor. Its image adorns everything from ancient scrolls to modern sculptures, symbolizing prosperity, longevity, and the harmonious coexistence of all living things. One of the most famous depictions of the Qilin can be found in the Forbidden City, where its likeness is carved into stone and painted on silk, a testament to its enduring cultural significance. The classic of Mountains and Seas, an ancient Chinese text, describes the Qilin as a beast of heavenly virtue, whose breath brings life to the land and whose steps bring peace to the people. This poetic portrayal captures the essence of the Qilin as a bringer of hope and renewal, a creature whose very existence inspires reverence and awe. Modern interpretations of the Qilin continue to explore its symbolic meaning. Scholars suggest that its gentle nature and connection to prosperity reflect the Confucian values of harmony and righteousness. In contemporary culture, the Qilin has become a symbol of resilience and hope, often appearing in films, literature, and even video games as a guardian of balance and a beacon of light in times of darkness. Its image is sometimes used in feng shui practices, believed to attract positive energy and ward off misfortune. The Qilin's enduring appeal lies in its ability to embody both the extraordinary and the attainable, a reminder that even the most mythical ideals can inspire real-world change. As we leave the serene presence of the Qilin, another benevolent creature emerges from the myths of a different culture, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of protection and harmony. From the graceful Qilin, we now journey to the rugged landscapes of Persian mythology, where the Simurgh, a majestic bird of wisdom and healing, spreads its wings over the world. High in the misty mountain forests of Japan, where the air is thick with the scent of cedar and the echoes of ancient rituals, there exists a creature both revered and feared, the Tengu. With the fierce eyes of a bird, the sharp beak of a raptor, and the imposing stature of a human warrior, the Tengu is a striking blend of the avian and the human. Often depicted wielding a fan or a staff, these bird-like demons are masters of martial arts, their skills unmatched by mortal men. But the Tengu are more than just fearsome fighters. They are complex figures in Japanese folklore, embodying the dualities of chaos and discipline, destruction and protection. The origins of the Tengu can be traced back to early Japanese mythology, where they were initially portrayed as disruptive spirits, often blamed for natural disasters or misfortunes. Over time, their image evolved, and they became associated with the sacred mountains of Japan, particularly those linked to Shujendo, a spiritual practice combining elements of Buddhism, Shinto, and asceticism. In these tales, the Tengu serve as both guardians and tricksters, testing the resolve of monks and warriors who venture into their domain. Their mischievous nature is legendary. They might lead travelers astray with illusions or challenge them to duels, but they also possess profound wisdom, often teaching those who prove worthy the secrets of combat and spiritual enlightenment. The symbolism of the Tengu is as layered as their mythology. On one hand, they represent the wild, untamed forces of nature, their chaotic behavior reflecting the unpredictability of life itself. On the other, they are symbols of discipline and mastery, their rigorous training regimes and martial prowess serving as an inspiration to samurai and monks alike. This duality makes the Tengu a fascinating study in contrasts, embodying the tension between order and chaos, human ambition, and the natural world. In some stories, they are depicted as protectors of sacred spaces, using their powers to ward off evil spirits. In others, they are agents of mischief, disrupting the lives of those who disrespect the mountains or break sacred laws. Modern interpretations of the Tengu have further enriched their legacy. In contemporary Japanese culture, they appear in everything from traditional No theater to anime and video games, often portrayed as enigmatic mentors or formidable adversaries. Scholars suggest that the Tengu's enduring appeal lies in their complexity. They are neither wholly good nor evil, but rather beings who challenge humanity to confront its own flaws and limitations. Their role as both teachers and tricksters resonates with the human experience, reminding us that growth often comes through struggle and that wisdom can emerge from chaos. As we leave the misty peaks of Japan and the watchful eyes of the Tengu, another figure emerges from the rich tapestry of mythology, one whose story is equally steeped in duality and the interplay of light and shadow. From the bird-like demons of the mountains, we now journey to the vibrant landscapes of Hindu mythology, where the divine Garuda soars through the heavens, a symbol of power and devotion. In the shadowed forests and ancient lands of Hindu mythology, where the lines between reality and illusion blur, there lurk the Rakshasas' shape-shifting demons whose very existence embodies deception and malice. These beings, capable of transforming into humans, animals, or even inanimate objects, are masters of disguise, using their cunning to infiltrate and destroy. With their glowing red eyes, sharp claws, and insatiable hunger for chaos, the Rakshasas are not mere monsters. They are symbols of the darkness that can hide beneath the surface of the familiar, waiting to strike when least expected. The origins of the Rakshasas are deeply rooted in Hindu cosmology, where they are often depicted as descendants of the primal chaos that existed before creation. Some texts, like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, describe them as born from the breath of the creator god Brahma during a moment of frustration, while others trace their lineage to the demon king Ravana, their most infamous leader. Ravana, a Rakshasa himself, is a figure of immense power and intellect, yet his arrogance and cruelty make him a quintessential antagonist. His battle with the hero Rama, as recounted in the Ramayana, is one of the most enduring tales of good versus evil, with the Rakshasas serving as the embodiment of corruption and moral decay. Through these stories, the Rakshasas are not just villains, they are reflections of humanity's own potential for greed, pride, and destruction. The symbolism of the Rakshasas extends beyond their role in epic narratives. In Hindu philosophy, they represent the internal and external forces that threaten dharma, or moral order. Their ability to shapeshift reflects the idea that evil often wears a mask, appearing benign or even beautiful to deceive the unwary. Ancient texts like the Puranas warn of their capacity to disrupt rituals, spread disease, and sow discord, making them a constant threat to both the divine and mortal realms. Yet the Rakshasas are not without complexity. Some stories depict them as misunderstood or even noble beings, cursed by fate or circumstance to live as outcasts. This duality adds depth to their character, reminding us that even the darkest figures can have shades of grey. Modern interpretations of the Rakshasas often explore their psychological and cultural significance. Scholars suggest that their shape-shifting nature mirrors the human fear of deception and betrayal, the idea that those closest to us might harbor ulterior motives. In contemporary literature and media, the Rakshasa has become a versatile symbol, appearing as everything from a sinister villain to a tragic antihero. Their influence can be seen in works like The Lord of the Rings, where the deceptive and malevolent nature of creatures like the Uruk-hai echoes the traits of the Rakshasas. This enduring appeal speaks to their ability to embody universal themes of morality, identity, and the struggle between light and shadow. As we leave the shadowy forests of the Rakshasas, another figure emerges from the myths of a different culture, one whose story is equally steeped in transformation and deception. This being, like the Rakshasas, challenges our understanding of reality, blurring the lines between friend and foe. From the shape-shifting demons of Hindu lore, we now journey to the misty moors of Celtic mythology, where the Puka, a creature of mischief and mystery, awaits to share its tale. Soaring through the heavens with wings that span the breadth of the sky, Garuda is no ordinary bird. In Hindu and Buddhist mythology, this divine eagle is a figure of immense power, speed, and devotion, revered as the king of all birds and the eternal mount of the god Vishnu. With his golden body, white face, and wings that blaze like fire, Garuda is a symbol of both celestial majesty and unwavering loyalty. Yet, his story is not just one of divine service, it's a tale of conflict, sacrifice, and the pursuit of freedom, intertwined with the eternal enmity between Garuda and the serpent-like Nagas. This ancient rivalry, rooted in myth and symbolism, reveals deeper truths about the balance of power, the struggle between light and darkness, and the enduring quest for liberation. Garuda's origins are steeped in the rich tapestry of Hindu mythology. Born from the cosmic egg of the sage Kashyapa and his wife Vinata, Garuda emerged as a radiant being, destined for greatness from the moment of his birth. His mother, however, had been tricked into servitude by her sister Kadru, the mother of the Nagas. To free her, Garuda embarked on a perilous quest to retrieve the nectar of immortality, Amrita, from the gods. His journey was fraught with challenges, including battles with divine guardians and the Nagas themselves. Yet, through his cunning and strength, Garuda succeeded, securing his mother's freedom and earning a place as Vishnu's eternal mount. This act of devotion and bravery cemented Garuda's role as a protector and a symbol of selfless service, qualities that resonate deeply in Hindu culture. The enmity between Garuda and the Nagas is one of the most enduring themes in his mythology. The Nagas, serpent deities associated with water, fertility, and the underworld, are often depicted as adversaries of Garuda, their natural predator. This rivalry is not merely physical but symbolic, representing the eternal struggle between opposing forces, sky and earth, light and shadow, freedom and restraint. In Hindu art and literature, Garuda is frequently shown clutching serpents in his talons, a powerful image that underscores his dominance over the Nagas. Yet, this dynamic is not one of pure antagonism. It also reflects the interdependence of these forces, a reminder that balance is essential to the cosmic order. Garuda's significance extends far beyond his role in mythology. In Hindu and Buddhist traditions, he is a symbol of power, speed, and spiritual transcendence. His image adorns temples, statues, and manuscripts, often depicted as a protector and a guide. In Buddhist iconography, Garuda is sometimes shown as a hybrid creature, part bird and part human, embodying the union of earthly and divine realms. The Garuda Purana, an ancient Hindu text, describes him as a being of immense wisdom and strength, capable of traversing the universe in an instant. This text also explores themes of morality and the afterlife, with Garuda serving as a guide for souls on their journey beyond death. Modern interpretations of Garuda continue to highlight his cultural and spiritual significance. In Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia and Thailand, Garuda is a national symbol representing strength, freedom, and unity. His image appears on flags, currency, and public monuments, a testament to his enduring legacy. Scholars suggest that Garuda's story resonates with contemporary themes of resilience and liberation, offering a timeless message of hope and determination. His ability to rise above challenges and serve a higher purpose makes him a powerful archetype, inspiring individuals to strive for greatness and uphold their principles. As we reflect on Garuda's role in mythology and culture, we are reminded of the profound connections between the divine and the mortal, the natural and the supernatural. His story is not just a legend but a source of inspiration, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, freedom and purpose can be achieved through courage and devotion. And as we leave the celestial heights of Garuda's domain, another figure emerges from the myths of a different culture, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of devotion and divine service. From the soaring eagle of Hindu lore, we now journey to the ancient lands of Persia, where the simurgh, a magnificent bird of wisdom and healing, spreads its wings over the world. In the shimmering waters and hidden caves of Hindu and Buddhist mythology, where the boundary between the earthly and the divine blurs, there dwell the Nagas, serpent-like beings of immense power and mystery. These enigmatic creatures, often depicted as half-human and half-serpent, are far more than mere monsters. They are revered as deities, guardians of treasures, and protectors of sacred spaces. With their ability to shift between serpent and human forms, the Nagas embody the duality of creation and destruction, wisdom and danger. Their coils are said to hold the secrets of the universe, while their gaze can hypnotize or heal, making them figures of both reverence and fear. The origins of the Nagas are deeply rooted in the ancient traditions of India and Southeast Asia. In Hindu mythology, they are often described as the offspring of the sage Kashyapa and his wife Kadru, making them siblings to Garuda, the divine eagle. This familial connection sets the stage for their eternal rivalry, a cosmic dance of predator and prey that symbolizes the balance between opposing forces. The Nagas are frequently associated with water, particularly rivers and lakes, where they are believed to reside in magnificent underwater palaces filled with jewels and treasures. These underwater realms, often depicted in art and literature, serve as metaphors for the hidden depths of the human psyche, where both enlightenment and danger lie in wait. In Buddhist traditions, the Nagas take on a slightly different role. They are seen as protectors of the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and are often depicted as guardians of sacred sites. In some stories, the Naga king Mukalinda is said to have shielded the Buddha during a storm, coiling his serpentine body around the meditating sage and spreading his hood to provide shelter. This act of devotion highlights the Naga's dual nature, capable of both great destruction and profound benevolence. Their presence in Buddhist art and iconography underscores their importance as symbols of transformation and spiritual awakening. The symbolism of the Nagas extends far beyond their mythological roles. In Hindu philosophy, they are often associated with Kundalini energy, the primal force believed to reside at the base of the spine. When awakened through meditation and spiritual practice, this energy rises like a serpent through the chakras, leading to enlightenment. The Nagas, with their serpentine forms, embody this transformative power, serving as reminders of the potential for growth and renewal within us all. Their connection to water also ties them to the cyclical nature of life, as rivers flow, recede, and return, much like the ebb and flow of human existence. Modern interpretations of the Nagas continue to explore their rich symbolism. In contemporary culture, they appear in literature, film, and even video games, often as figures of wisdom and mystery. Scholars suggest that their enduring appeal lies in their complexity. They are neither wholly good nor evil, but represent the interplay of opposing forces that define the human experience. The Naga's ability to shift forms and their dual roles as protectors and tricksters make them powerful symbols of adaptability and resilience. Their stories remind us that wisdom often comes from confronting our fears and embracing the unknown. As we leave the watery realms of the Nagas and their shimmering palaces, another figure emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in themes of transformation and the natural world. This being, like the Nagas, bridges the gap between the earthly and the divine, but its tale takes us to the vast landscapes of Native American mythology, where the thunderbird soars through stormy skies, a symbol of power and renewal. High above the storm-racked skies of Native American mythology, where lightning splits the heavens and thunder shakes the earth, there soars the thunderbird, a creature of immense power and celestial majesty. Known as Wakinyan in Lakota traditions and Animikii in Ojibwe lore, this legendary being is far more than a mythical beast. It is a sky spirit, a force of nature given form, and a guardian whose wings carry the storms and whose eyes flash with the brilliance of lightning. To the indigenous peoples of North America, the thunderbird is not just a symbol of the natural world's raw power. It is a protector, a bringer of life-giving rain, and a reminder of the sacred connection between humanity and the cosmos. The origins of the thunderbird are as vast and varied as the landscapes it is said to inhabit. In the traditions of the Pacific Northwest, it is often depicted as a colossal bird with feathers that glisten like polished obsidian, its wings so massive that their flapping creates the winds and thunder. Among the Plains tribes, the thunderbird is a spirit of war and protection, its presence invoked in times of conflict to bring strength and victory. The Ojibwe people describe it as a being that dwells in the clouds, descending only to battle the underwater serpents known as Mishaipshu, who represent chaos and destruction. These battles between the thunderbird and the serpents are said to cause storms, a vivid metaphor for the eternal struggle between order and chaos. For many Native American tribes, the thunderbird is more than a myth. It is a living symbol of cultural identity and spiritual belief. Its image appears in totem poles, carvings, and ceremonial regalia, each depiction emphasizing its role as a mediator between the human and divine realms. The thunderbird is often seen as a messenger of the Great Spirit, carrying prayers to the heavens and bringing blessings in the form of rain. Its association with storms is not just a reflection of natural phenomena, but a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, destruction giving way to renewal, drought yielding to abundance. In this way, the thunderbird embodies the resilience and adaptability of the people who revere it. Modern interpretations of the thunderbird continue to explore its rich symbolism. Scholars suggest that its role as a protector and bringer of rain reflects the deep connection between indigenous cultures and their environment. The thunderbird's ability to control the weather symbolizes humanity's dependence on nature and the need for balance and respect. In contemporary art and literature, the thunderbird has become a powerful emblem of indigenous pride and heritage, its image used to inspire and unite communities. Its story resonates with themes of environmental stewardship, reminding us of the importance of preserving the natural world and the wisdom of those who have lived in harmony with it for centuries. As we reflect on the thunderbird's role in Native American mythology, we are reminded of the universal human fascination with the forces of nature and the stories we create to make sense of them. Its wings, which carry the storms, also carry the hopes and dreams of the people who honor it, a testament to the enduring power of myth and the sacred bond between humanity and the skies. And as we turn our gaze from the stormy heavens, another creature emerges from the myths of a different culture, one whose story is equally steeped in the mysteries of the sky and the forces that shape our world. From the thunderous wings of the thunderbird, we now journey to the windswept plains of Slavic folklore, where the fiery Zime, a dragon of the skies, awaits to share its tale. In the icy wilderness of Algonquian folklore, where the wind howls like a mournful cry and the snow blankets the land in a deathly silence, there lurks a creature born of desperation and despair, the Wendigo. This cannibal spirit, with its emaciated frame, sunken eyes, and elongated limbs, is the embodiment of insatiable hunger. Its lips are stained with blood, and its heart, frozen and black, beats only for one thing: human flesh. But the Wendigo is more than just a monster. It is a cautionary tale, a warning whispered through generations about the dangers of greed, excess, and the darkness that lies within the human soul. The origins of the Wendigo trace back to the indigenous peoples of the northern forests, particularly the Algonquian tribes, who lived in the harsh, unforgiving climates of Canada and the northern United States. In these regions, where winter could stretch for months and famine was a constant threat, the Wendigo emerged as a symbol of the ultimate taboo: cannibalism. Stories tell of individuals driven to madness by starvation and isolation, who succumbed to the unthinkable act of eating human flesh. In doing so, they were said to transform into Wendigos, cursed to roam the frozen landscape forever, their hunger never satisfied. This transformation was not just physical but spiritual, a descent into a state of perpetual craving and moral decay. The Wendigo's role in folklore is deeply tied to its symbolism. It represents the destructive consequences of unchecked desire, a reminder that greed and excess can consume not just the body but the soul. In many Algonquian tales, the Wendigo is used as a moral lesson, warning against the dangers of hoarding resources or prioritizing personal gain over communal well-being. One such story tells of a man who, during a harsh winter, refused to share his food with his starving neighbors. As his greed grew, so did his hunger, until he transformed into a Wendigo, forever cursed to hunt those he once called kin. This tale, and others like it, underscores the importance of balance and generosity, values that were essential for survival in such a challenging environment. Modern interpretations of the Wendigo have expanded its significance, transforming it from a regional myth into a global symbol of psychological and societal fears. Scholars suggest that the Wendigo embodies the darker aspects of human nature, such as addiction, obsession, and the capacity for self-destruction. In literature and film, the Wendigo often appears as a metaphor for the insatiable hunger that drives individuals to harm others and themselves. Authors like Algernon Blackwood and Stephen King have drawn on the Wendigo myth to explore themes of isolation, madness, and the thin line between humanity and monstrosity. Its image has also been used in discussions about environmental exploitation, with the Wendigo representing humanity's relentless consumption of natural resources at the expense of the planet. The Wendigo's enduring appeal lies in its ability to evoke both fear and empathy. Its story is a haunting reminder of the fragility of human morality and the consequences of succumbing to our basest instincts. As we leave the frozen forests haunted by the Wendigo, another creature emerges from the myths of a different culture, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of hunger and the darker side of human nature. From the icy grip of the Wendigo, we now journey to the sun-scorched deserts of the Middle East, where the ravenous ghoul awaits, a creature whose hunger knows no bounds. In the vast, windswept deserts and rugged canyons of the American Southwest, where the land whispers with ancient secrets, there exists a figure so feared that its very name is spoken only in hushed tones: the Skinwalker. Rooted deeply in Navajo tradition, this shape-shifting which is no ordinary being. With the ability to transform into any animal at will, the Skinwalker blurs the line between human and beast, wielding its power to sow chaos, inflict harm, and instill dread. To the Navajo people, the Skinwalker is not just a myth, it is a living embodiment of taboo, a reminder of the consequences of misusing sacred knowledge and straying from the path of balance and harmony. The origins of the Skinwalker trace back to the Navajo concept of Yinodlushii, which translates to "with it, he goes on all fours." These beings are said to be individuals who have chosen to forsake their humanity, delving into dark rituals and forbidden magic to gain the ability to shapeshift. According to Navajo tradition, becoming a Skinwalker requires the ultimate transgression, the killing of a close family member. This act, steeped in horror and betrayal, grants the witch supernatural powers, including the ability to take on the form of animals like wolves, coyotes, or even owls. But this transformation comes at a cost, as the Skinwalker becomes a twisted reflection of humanity, consumed by malice and the hunger for destruction. The Skinwalker's role in Navajo folklore is deeply tied to its symbolism as a cautionary figure. It serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of power misused, a warning against the temptation to exploit sacred knowledge for personal gain. Navajo elders often recount stories of Skinwalkers stalking the night, their glowing eyes and unnatural movements striking terror into those who encounter them. These tales are not merely meant to frighten, they are lessons in morality, emphasizing the importance of living in harmony with the natural and spiritual worlds. The Skinwalker's ability to shapeshift also reflects the Navajo belief in the interconnectedness of all living things, while its malevolent actions highlight the chaos that arises when that balance is disrupted. Modern interpretations of the Skinwalker have expanded its significance beyond its cultural roots. In contemporary paranormal circles, the Skinwalker has become a symbol of the unknown, often associated with mysterious phenomena in the American Southwest, such as UFO sightings or unexplained animal mutilations. Scholars of folklore suggest that the enduring fascination with the Skinwalker reflects a broader human fear of the unpredictable and the uncanny, the idea that something familiar could hide a terrifying truth beneath its surface. This duality makes the Skinwalker a compelling figure, one that continues to captivate and terrify in equal measure. As we leave the haunting landscapes of Navajo mythology, another figure emerges from the rich tapestry of African folklore, one whose story is equally steeped in transformation and the mysteries of the human spirit. From the shape-shifting witches of the Southwest, we now journey to the vibrant lands of West Africa, where the enigmatic adze, a vampiric spirit, awaits to share its tale. In the rich tapestry of West African folklore, where stories are woven as intricately as a spider's web, there exists a figure both beloved and cunning: Anansi, the trickster spider. With his 8 nimble legs and a mind sharper than any blade, Anansi is a master of wit and deception, a character who uses his intelligence to outsmart those far larger and stronger than himself. Often depicted as a small spider or a man with spider-like features, Anansi is more than just a trickster. He is a cultural hero, a storyteller, and a symbol of resilience and ingenuity. His tales, passed down through generations, are not just entertaining. They carry deep lessons about the power of cleverness over brute force and the importance of resourcefulness in the face of adversity. Anansi's origins are deeply rooted in the oral traditions of the Akan people of Ghana, where he is known as Kweku Anansi, a name that reflects his role as a central figure in their mythology. In these stories, Anansi often finds himself in seemingly impossible situations, whether it's trying to outwit a powerful god or bargaining with dangerous creatures. Yet, through his quick thinking and creative problem-solving, he always manages to turn the tables in his favor. One famous tale recounts how Anansi tricked Niamh, the sky god, into giving him all the stories in the world. By completing a series of seemingly impossible tasks, Anansi not only secured the stories for humanity, but also cemented his place as a figure of cultural significance. This story, like many others, highlights Anansi's dual role as both a trickster and a bringer of knowledge, a reminder that wisdom often comes from unexpected sources. What makes Anansi truly fascinating is his ability to embody both the light and dark aspects of human nature. On one hand, he is a hero, using his cunning to challenge authority and redistribute power. On the other, he can be selfish, manipulative, and even foolish, often causing chaos with his schemes. This duality makes him a relatable and enduring figure, one who reflects the complexities of life itself. As one Akan proverb puts it, the spider's web may seem fragile, but it is strong enough to catch even the mightiest of flies. This metaphor captures Anansi's essence, his ability to achieve great things despite his small size, and his knack for turning weakness into strength. In modern times, Anansi's influence has spread far beyond West Africa, becoming a global symbol of creativity and resilience. His stories have inspired countless adaptations in literature, film, and even comic books, where he is often portrayed as a clever and resourceful hero. Scholars have also explored his role as a symbol of resistance, particularly during the transatlantic slave trade, when enslaved Africans used Anansi tales to preserve their culture and subtly critique their oppressors. His ability to outsmart those in power resonated deeply, offering hope and a sense of agency in the face of unimaginable hardship. Anansi's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. His tales remind us that intelligence and creativity can triumph over brute strength, and that even the smallest among us can achieve greatness. As we leave the web of Anansi's world, we turn to another figure whose cunning and wisdom have left an indelible mark on mythology, a creature whose story is equally steeped in trickery and transformation. From the clever spider of West Africa, we now journey to the misty forests of Norse mythology, where Loki, the shape-shifting trickster, awaits to share his tale. In the shimmering depths of rivers, lakes, and oceans, where the boundary between the earthly and the divine dissolves, there exists a figure both alluring and enigmatic, Mami Wata, the water spirit. Often depicted as a mermaid or a beautiful woman with flowing hair and hypnotic eyes, Mami Wata is a symbol of duality, embodying both the nurturing and destructive powers of water. She is a figure of immense beauty and wealth, her presence associated with prosperity and good fortune, yet she is also a force of danger, capable of luring the unwary to their doom. To the communities of West and Central Africa, as well as the Afro-Caribbean diaspora, Mami Wata is more than a myth. She is a spiritual entity, a protector, and a reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the surface of the waters. The origins of Mami Wata are as fluid as the waters she inhabits. Her name, derived from the Pidgin English term for mother water, reflects her deep connection to aquatic realms. While her roots can be traced to indigenous African traditions, her story has evolved over centuries, blending with elements of European mermaid lore introduced during the colonial era. This fusion of cultural influences has made Mami Wata a uniquely hybrid figure, one who transcends geographical and historical boundaries. In her traditional depictions, she is often shown holding a mirror or comb, symbols of vanity and self-reflection, while serpents coil around her, representing both danger and transformation. These elements highlight her dual nature as a bringer of blessings and a test of one's character. Mami Wata's role in African and Afro-Caribbean folklore is deeply symbolic. She is revered as a giver of wealth and beauty, her blessings sought by those who wish to prosper in life. Yet her gifts come with a price. stories abound of individuals who, after encountering Mami Wata, are forever changed, some enriched beyond their wildest dreams, others consumed by longing and loss. This duality makes her a powerful metaphor for the unpredictable nature of life, where great rewards often come with great risks. Her connection to water further reinforces this symbolism, as water itself is both life-giving and life-taking, a source of sustenance and a force of destruction. In art and literature, Mami Wata is a recurring figure, her image appearing in everything from traditional sculptures to contemporary paintings. Her striking beauty and mysterious aura have made her a subject of fascination for artists and writers alike. African textiles, often adorned with her likeness, celebrate her as a cultural icon, while modern interpretations explore her role as a symbol of feminine power and independence. Scholars note that Mami Wata's enduring appeal lies in her ability to embody complex themes: beauty and danger, wealth and sacrifice, tradition and modernity. As one expert puts it, Mami Wata is not just a spirit, she is a mirror reflecting the hopes, fears, and aspirations of those who revere her. Modern interpretations of Mami Wata continue to evolve, reflecting the changing values and challenges of contemporary society. In some contexts, she is seen as a figure of resistance, a symbol of cultural resilience in the face of colonialism and globalization. In others, she is a guardian of environmental balance, her connection to water serving as a reminder of the need to protect our natural resources. Her image has also found its way into popular culture, appearing in films, music, and even fashion, where she is celebrated for her timeless allure and powerful symbolism. As we leave the shimmering waters of Mami Wata's domain, another figure emerges from the depths, one equally steeped in the mysteries of the aquatic world. From the mesmerizing beauty of the water spirit, we now journey to the icy rivers of Slavic folklore, where the Rusalka, a haunting and tragic water nymph, awaits to share her tale. In the shadowy forests and quiet villages of Yu-speaking communities in West Africa, there exists a creature so cunning and elusive that its very presence is whispered in fear: the Adze. This vampiric spirit, capable of transforming into a firefly, is no ordinary insect. By day, it appears as a harmless, glowing light flickering gently in the darkness. But by night, it reveals its true nature, slipping into homes to feed on the blood of its victims, bringing illness, misfortune, and death. The Adze is not just a predator, it is a symbol of the unseen dangers that lurk in the world, a reminder that even the most innocent-seeming things can hide a terrifying truth. The origins of the Adze are deeply rooted in the folklore of the Yu people, who inhabit regions of Ghana and Togo. In these traditions, the Adze is often described as a witch or sorcerer who has gained the ability to shapeshift into a firefly through dark rituals. Once transformed, it can pass unnoticed into homes where it preys on the vulnerable, particularly children. Some tales suggest that capturing an Adze in its insect form and forcing it to reveal its human identity can break its curse, but this is a perilous endeavor as the creature's powers are formidable. The Adze's ability to shift between forms makes it a figure of both fascination and dread, embodying the thin line between the natural and the supernatural. What makes the Adze particularly chilling is its dual nature. As a firefly, it embodies beauty and light, a creature that symbolizes hope and wonder in many cultures. Yet, in its true form, it becomes a bringer of suffering and despair. This duality is central to its symbolism in Yu folklore. The Adze represents the hidden dangers that can exist within the familiar, a warning to look beyond appearances and remain vigilant. It also reflects the human fear of the unknown, the idea that evil can take on any shape and strike when least expected. As one Yu proverb warns, the Adze's light is not for guiding but for deceiving. Modern interpretations of the Adze often explore its psychological and cultural significance. Scholars suggest that the Ad's myth may have served as a way to explain illnesses or sudden deaths, particularly those with no obvious cause. In a world without modern medicine, the idea of a vampiric spirit draining life force could provide a framework for understanding the inexplicable. The Ad's association with fireflies also ties it to themes of transformation and duality, common motifs in folklore worldwide. Its story resonates with contemporary fears of deception and the unseen threats that can infiltrate our lives, from invisible viruses to hidden dangers in the digital age. As we leave the glowing trails of the Ad's firefly form, another figure emerges from the rich tapestry of mythology, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of transformation and the supernatural. This being, like the Ads, challenges our understanding of reality, but its tale takes us to the vast, ancient landscapes of Australia, where the Yara Maiha, who, a creature of both curiosity and caution, awaits to share its story. Deep within the murky waters of Australia's swamps and billabongs, where the reeds sway in the breeze and the air hums with the songs of unseen creatures, there lurks a figure of both mystery and dread, the Bunyip. Described in Aboriginal folklore as a monstrous being with a haunting cry that echoes across the wetlands, the Bunyip is no ordinary creature. Its appearance varies from tale to tale. Sometimes it's a massive, shaggy beast with tusks and flippers, other times a serpent-like entity with glowing eyes and a long, sinuous tail. But one thing remains consistent. The Bunyip is a symbol of the unknown, a creature that embodies the fears and mysteries of the untamed wilderness. The origins of the Bunyip stretch back thousands of years, deeply rooted in the oral traditions of Australia's Indigenous peoples. For many Aboriginal communities, the Bunyip is more than just a monster. It's a spiritual guardian of the water, a being that enforces respect for the natural world. Stories of the Bunyip often serve as cautionary tales, warning against venturing too close to the water's edge, especially at night. Its eerie cries, said to resemble a mix of a bull's roar and a bird's screech, are believed to signal danger, a reminder that the wetlands are not always as tranquil as they seem. In some accounts, the Bunyip is also a protector, punishing those who disrespect the land or take more than they need from its waters. This duality, its role as both a bringer of fear and a keeper of balance, makes the Bunyip a complex and enduring figure in Aboriginal culture. The symbolism of the Bunyip extends far beyond its role in folklore. It represents the mysteries of the natural world, the things that lie just beyond our understanding. For early European settlers in Australia, the Bunyip became a way to explain the strange and unfamiliar sounds of the wetlands, a bridge between the known and the unknown. Some historians suggest that sightings of the Bunyip may have been inspired by encounters with real animals, such as seals or large water birds, whose behaviors and calls could seem otherworldly in the dim light of dusk or dawn. Others see the Bunyip as a metaphor for the fear of the unknown, a reminder that even in a world we think we understand, there are always mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Modern interpretations of the Bunyip often explore its cultural and psychological significance. In contemporary Australian literature and art, the Bunyip has become a symbol of identity and connection to the land, a figure that bridges the gap between ancient traditions and modern life. Scholars note that the Bunyip's enduring appeal lies in its ability to evoke both fear and fascination, a reflection of humanity's complex relationship with nature. Its story resonates with themes of environmental stewardship, reminding us of the importance of respecting the delicate balance of the natural world. As one expert puts it, the Bunyip is not just a creature of the swamps, it's a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and our connection to the land. As we leave the shadowy waters of the Bunyip's domain, another creature emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in the mysteries of wetlands and the forces of nature. From the haunting cries of the Australian swamps, we now journey to the misty marshes of Slavic folklore, where the Vodianoi, a water spirit of both menace and mystery, awaits to share its tale. Deep in the eucalyptus forests of Australia, where the air is thick with the scent of gum leaves and the sunlight filters through the canopy in golden streaks, there lurks a creature that strikes fear into the hearts of unsuspecting travelers, the drop bear. This mythical predator, often described as a larger, more aggressive cousin of the koala, is said to perch high in the trees, waiting patiently for its prey. When the moment is right, it drops from above, landing with a thud and a snarl. While the koala is known for its docile nature, the drop bear is anything but. It's a creature of legend, a blend of humor and horror that has become a staple of Australian folklore. The origins of the drop bear are as playful as they are mysterious. Unlike many mythological creatures rooted in ancient traditions, the drop bear is a modern invention, a tall tale spun by Australians to tease and terrify tourists. Stories of its attacks are often shared around campfires or whispered to wide-eyed visitors, complete with vivid details about its sharp claws, powerful jaws, and uncanny ability to target those who least expect it. The drop bear's legend thrives on exaggeration, with some tales claiming it can sense foreign accents or the scent of Vegemite on a person's breath. While it's all in good fun, the drop bear serves a deeper purpose. It's a light-hearted way to remind newcomers of the very real dangers that lurk in the Australian bush. Beneath the humor lies a subtle warning. The drop bear, for all its whimsical absurdity, reflects the genuine perils of Australia's wild landscapes. From venomous snakes to unpredictable wildlife, the bush is a place where caution is essential. The drop bear myth plays on these fears, transforming them into something laughable yet memorable. It's a clever way to impart a serious message: respect the environment, stay alert, and don't wander too far off the beaten path. As one Australian folklorist put it, the drop bear is a joke, but it's also a lesson wrapped in a laugh. Modern interpretations of the drop bear have only added to its charm. It's become a cultural icon, appearing in everything from tourist merchandise to internet memes. Some scientists have even joined in on the fun, creating mock studies about the creature's behavior and habitat. These playful takes keep the legend alive, ensuring that the drop bear remains a beloved figure in Australian storytelling. Its enduring popularity speaks to the universal appeal of a good scare, especially when it's served with a side of humor. As we leave the towering eucalyptus trees and the mischievous shadow of the drop bear, another creature emerges from the world of playful myths, one whose story is equally steeped in laughter and legend. From the forests of Australia, we now turn to the misty hills of Scotland, where the mischievous kelpie awaits, ready to lure unsuspecting travelers into its watery domain. High in the lush canopy of Australia's rainforests, where sunlight filters through the leaves and the air hums with the sounds of life, there lurks a creature as bizarre as it is terrifying, the Yara Maiha. This small, red-skinned humanoid with its oversized head, toothless mouth, and fingers tipped with suckers is no ordinary predator. It doesn't pounce or roar. Instead, it waits patiently, dangling from tree branches like a grotesque fruit. When an unsuspecting traveler passes beneath, it drops down, latching onto its victim with those suction cup fingers. But the Yara Maiha who doesn't kill outright, it drains its prey's blood, then regurgitates them, leaving them alive but forever changed. This chilling process, repeated until the victim is too weak to resist, transforms them into another Yara Maiha who, perpetuating the cycle of horror. The origins of the Yara Maiha, who are deeply rooted in the folklore of Australia's Aboriginal peoples, particularly the stories of the Yuin and Kuku Yalanji tribes. Unlike many mythical creatures that serve as straightforward monsters, the Yara Maiha, who is more nuanced. It acts as a cautionary figure, warning against wandering alone in unfamiliar or dangerous places. The creature's method of attack, draining blood and regurgitating its victims, echoes the natural cycles of predation and regeneration, but with a sinister twist. According to some interpretations, the Yara Ma'iha, who symbolizes the consequences of carelessness or arrogance, a reminder that the natural world demands respect and vigilance. Scholars of folklore suggest that the Yara Ma'iha, whose role goes beyond simple fear-mongering, its transformation of victims into more of its kind reflects themes of assimilation and the loss of identity, a metaphor for the dangers of losing oneself to external influences. In Aboriginal culture, where storytelling often carries layers of meaning, the Yara Ma'iha, who serves as both a literal and symbolic guardian of boundaries, enforcing the rules of the natural and spiritual worlds. As one expert notes, the Yara Ma'iha, who is not just a monster, it's a teacher, reminding us that every action has consequences and that the unknown is not to be taken lightly. Modern interpretations of the Yara Ma'iha, who often explore its psychological and cultural significance. Some see it as a representation of the fears surrounding change and transformation, while others view it as a metaphor for the spread of disease or corruption. Its small, unassuming appearance contrasts sharply with its deadly capabilities, embodying the idea that danger often comes in unexpected forms. This duality makes the Yara Ma'iha, who a compelling figure, one that continues to fascinate and unsettle in equal measure. As we leave the shadowy rainforests haunted by the Yara Ma'iha, who, another enigmatic figure, emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in themes of transformation and the unknown. From the red-skinned vampire of Australia, we now journey to the vibrant islands of Polynesia, where the Taniwha, a guardian spirit of the waters, awaits to share its tale. Beneath the shimmering surfaces of New Zealand's rivers, lakes, and coastal waters, there lies a guardian of immense power and mystery, the Taniwha. These serpentine beings, often described as dragon-like creatures, are central figures in Maori mythology, embodying both the nurturing and destructive forces of water. With their sleek, scaled bodies and eyes that gleam like polished obsidian, Taniwha are more than just mythical beasts. They are spiritual entities deeply woven into the cultural fabric of the Maori people. Revered as protectors of sacred waters and feared as dangerous predators, the Taniwha occupy a unique space in the realm of mythological creatures, bridging the gap between the natural and the supernatural. The origins of the Taniwha are as varied as the waters they inhabit. In Maori tradition, these creatures are often seen as descendants of the gods or as ancestors who transformed into guardians after death. Some stories tell of Taniwha emerging from the depths to shape the landscape, carving rivers and valleys with their powerful bodies. Others describe them as companions to great warriors or as beings sent by the gods to test the courage and wisdom of those who encounter them. One famous legend speaks of Hotupuku, a Taniwha who terrorized travelers until he was outwitted by a clever hero. These tales highlight the Taniwha's dual nature. They can be both benevolent and malevolent, their actions reflecting the balance of power and respect in the natural world. As protectors, Taniwha are often associated with specific bodies of water, serving as guardians of their domains. Maori communities would honor these creatures with rituals and offerings, seeking their favor for safe passage and bountiful fishing. But to disrespect the Taniwha or ignore their warnings was to invite disaster. Stories abound of those who failed to heed the signs, only to be swept away by sudden floods or dragged beneath the waves by an unseen force. This duality makes the Taniwha a powerful symbol of the Maori worldview, where nature is not something to be conquered but something to be respected and revered. As one Maori proverb states, the Taniwha is not just a creature of the water, it is the water itself, a force that must be honored. modern interpretations of the Taniwha continue to explore their cultural and spiritual significance. For many Maori, the Taniwha remain living symbols of connection to the land and water, embodying the values of stewardship and harmony. In contemporary New Zealand, the Taniwha have also become a part of national identity, appearing in art, literature, and even environmental campaigns. Their image serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting natural resources and maintaining the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Scholars suggest that the Taniwha's enduring presence reflects a broader human fascination with water as a source of life and mystery, a force that both sustains and challenges us. As we leave the shimmering waters of the Taniwha's realm, another figure emerges from the myths of a culture equally steeped in the mysteries of the aquatic world. This being, like the Taniwha, embodies the dualities of protection and peril, but its tale takes us to the ancient rivers of Mesopotamia, where the fearsome Apsu, the primordial god of freshwater, awaits to share his story. In the lush, verdant landscapes of Hawaii, where the waves crash against volcanic shores and the air hums with the whispers of ancient gods, there exists a creature as revered as it is feared, the Mau. These dragon-like guardians, often described as massive, serpentine lizards, are deeply woven into the fabric of Hawaiian mythology. Unlike the terrifying monsters of other legends, the Mau are complex beings, embodying both the protective and perilous aspects of nature. They are said to dwell in sacred places, waterfalls, springs, and hidden pools, acting as both guardians and gatekeepers of these life-giving sources. To the Hawaiian people, the Mau are not just mythical creatures. They are spiritual entities deeply connected to the land, water, and the ancestors who came before. The origins of the Mau trace back to the rich oral traditions of Hawaii, where they are often depicted as shapeshifters, capable of taking on human form or transforming into rocks, trees, or even mist. Some stories suggest they are descendants of the gods, while others describe them as ancient spirits who chose to remain on Earth to protect sacred sites. One of the most striking aspects of the Mau is their dual nature. On one hand, they are fierce protectors, ensuring that only the worthy can access the waters they guard. On the other, they can be dangerous, punishing those who disrespect their domains or take more than they need. This duality reflects the Hawaiian worldview, where nature is both a source of life and a force to be respected. The cultural significance of the Mau extends far beyond their role as guardians. In Hawaiian mythology, they are often associated with fertility, abundance, and the cycles of life and death. Their connection to water, a vital resource in island life, underscores their importance as symbols of sustenance and survival. Stories of the Mau are frequently tied to specific locations, such as the legendary Mau of Waimea Valley, who is said to have protected a sacred spring until she was outwitted by a clever hero. These tales serve as more than just entertainment. They are lessons in morality, teaching respect for the environment and the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Modern interpretations of the Mau continue to explore their symbolic meaning. Scholars suggest that their role as protectors reflects the Hawaiian concept of kulina, or responsibility, emphasizing the importance of stewardship and reciprocity with the land. In contemporary Hawaiian culture, the Mau remain a powerful symbol of connection to the past, their stories passed down through generations as a reminder of the values that sustain communities. Artists and storytellers often depict the Mau in their work, celebrating their role as guardians of tradition and the natural world. As one cultural expert notes, the Mau are not just creatures of myth, they are living reminders of the sacred bonds between people, land, and water. As we leave the sacred waters guarded by the Mau, another figure emerges from the myths of a different culture, one equally steeped in themes of protection and reverence for the natural world. From the serpentine guardians of Hawaii, we now journey to the ancient forests of the Pacific Northwest, where the thunderbird, a majestic and powerful spirit, awaits to share its tale. From the serpentine guardians of Hawaii, we now turn to the fiery heart of the islands, where Pele, the goddess of volcanoes and fire, reigns with both beauty and fury. Known as Pelehonuemia, Pele of the sacred land, she is a figure of immense power, her presence felt in the molten lava that flows from the earth and the ash that blankets the sky. With her wild, flowing hair and eyes that burn like the heart of a volcano, Pele is both a creator and a destroyer, a goddess whose wrath can reshape the land and whose tears can form new islands. She is not just a deity, she is a force of nature, embodying the raw, untamed energy of the Hawaiian Islands. Pele's origins are as dynamic as the volcanic landscape she commands. According to Hawaiian mythology, she was born in the distant land of Kahiki, believed by some to be Tahiti. Driven by a fierce determination to find a home where she could unleash her power, Pele journeyed across the Pacific, carrying a magical digging stick given to her by her mother, Haumea. Each time she thrust the stick into the earth, a volcanic crater would form, but her siblings, particularly her jealous sister Namakakahai, the goddess of the sea, would extinguish the flames. Their epic battles shaped the Hawaiian archipelago, with Pele finally finding refuge in the caldera of Kilauea, where she resides to this day. This tale reflects the duality of Pele's nature, her relentless drive for creation, and the destructive forces that accompany it. The symbolism of Pele runs deep in Hawaiian culture. She is seen as both a giver and a taker, her eruptions destroying homes and forests while simultaneously creating new land. This cycle of destruction and renewal is central to her mythology, a reminder that life and death are intertwined. Pele is also a figure of profound respect and reverence. Hawaiians believe that taking volcanic rocks or sand from her domain brings bad luck, a testament to the belief that she is a living, watchful presence. As one chant dedicated to Pele says, "E Pele e ki aloha o kahonua," which translates to, "O Pele, beloved, beloved of the earth." Her connection to the land is not just physical but spiritual, a bond that underscores the sacred relationship between the Hawaiian people and their environment. Modern interpretations of Pele continue to highlight her cultural and symbolic significance. For many, she represents the resilience and adaptability of the Hawaiian people, who have lived alongside active volcanoes for generations. Her story is also a powerful metaphor for transformation, reminding us that even the most devastating events can lead to new beginnings. In contemporary art and literature, Pele is often depicted as a fiery, passionate figure, her image used to explore themes of power, identity, and the enduring connection to the land. Scholars suggest that her enduring appeal lies in her ability to embody both the destructive and creative forces of nature, making her a figure of both awe and inspiration. As we leave the smoldering slopes of Kilauea and the watchful gaze of Pele, another figure emerges from the icy realms of the Arctic, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of power and transformation. From the fiery heart of Hawaii, we now journey to the frozen landscapes of Inuit mythology, where Sedna, the goddess of the sea, awaits to share her tale. In the frozen, windswept reaches of the Arctic, where the ice stretches endlessly and the sea churns with a primal, untamed energy, there resides a figure of profound importance, Sedna, the Inuit goddess of the sea and marine life. Known as Nuliajuk or Taluliak in different regions, Sedna is a being of duality, both a giver of life and a force of immense power. Her long, flowing hair swirls like the currents of the ocean, and her eyes, deep and unfathomable, reflect the mysteries of the waters she rules. To the Inuit people, Sedna is not just a deity, she is the very essence of the sea, controlling the fate of hunters and the abundance of the creatures they depend on for survival. The story of Sedna's origins is as dramatic as the Arctic landscape itself. In one of the most well-known versions, Sedna was once a young woman who, betrayed by her father, was cast into the icy waters during a violent storm. As she clung desperately to the side of the boat, her father, fearing for his own life, severed her fingers one by one. Each finger transformed into a sea creature, seals, walruses, and whales, becoming the foundation of the marine life that sustains the Inuit people. Sedna herself sank to the bottom of the ocean, where she became the ruler of the sea, her severed fingers forever linking her to the animals that hunters seek. This tragic tale is more than just a myth. It's a reflection of the harsh realities of Arctic life, where survival often hinges on the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Sedna's role in Inuit folklore is deeply symbolic. She is both a provider and a punisher, her moods dictating the success or failure of hunts. When angered, she withholds the sea's bounty, causing storms or driving animals away, leaving communities to face starvation. To appease her, shamans would perform rituals, journeying to the depths of the ocean to comb her hair and calm her rage. These acts of reverence highlight the Inuit understanding of the natural world as a place of reciprocity, where respect and harmony are essential for survival. Sedna's story is a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all life, a theme that resonates deeply in a landscape where every action has consequences. Scholars of Inuit culture often emphasize Sedna's significance as a representation of the Arctic environment itself, both nurturing and unforgiving. Her tale embodies the duality of the sea, a source of sustenance and a realm of danger. As one expert notes, Sedna is more than a goddess. She is a mirror, reflecting the Inuit relationship with the natural world, where respect and humility are not just virtues but necessities. Her story also underscores the importance of storytelling as a way to pass down knowledge and values, ensuring that each generation understands the delicate balance required to thrive in such a challenging environment. As we leave the icy waters of Sedna's domain, another figure emerges from the depths, one whose story is equally steeped in the mysteries of the sea and the struggle for survival. From the frozen Arctic, we now journey to the warm, tropical waters of the Caribbean, where the fearsome Lusca, a creature of legend and lore, awaits to share its tale. In the icy, wind-swept shores of the Arctic, where the sea meets the land in a blur of frost and fog, there lurks a creature that embodies the dangers of the untamed waters, the Kalupalik. This eerie figure, often described as a mermaid or sea spirit, is no enchanting siren. With her greenish, scaly skin, long, tangled hair, and a haunting, repetitive humming, the Kalupalik is a figure of pure nightmare. But her true terror lies in her purpose. She preys on children who stray too close to the water's edge, dragging them beneath the waves to her underwater lair, never to be seen again. In Inuit folklore, the Kalupalik is not just a monster. She is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the harsh realities of life in the Arctic and the ever-present dangers of the natural world. The origins of the Kalupalik are deeply rooted in the oral traditions of the Inuit people, who have lived in harmony with and in respect of the Arctic environment for thousands of years. Stories of the Kalupalik were often told to children as warnings, teaching them to stay away from the icy waters that could claim their lives in an instant. Her humming, a sound said to lure the curious closer, serves as a chilling metaphor for the deceptive allure of the sea, which can appear calm and inviting but hide deadly currents beneath its surface. As one Inuit elder put it, the Kalupalik is not just a story, she is a lesson, a way to teach our children to respect the power of the water and the land. The Kalupalik's role as a cautionary figure extends beyond her physical threat. She symbolizes the broader dangers of the Arctic environment, where survival depends on vigilance and respect for nature. In a landscape where ice can shift without warning and storms can arise in moments, the Kalupalik embodies the unpredictability of the natural world. Her story also reflects the Inuit understanding of the interconnectedness of life and the consequences of carelessness. By personifying the dangers of the sea, the Kalupalik serves as a powerful reminder that every action, no matter how small, can have profound consequences. Modern interpretations of the Kalupalik have expanded her significance, transforming her from a simple warning into a symbol of cultural resilience and environmental awareness. Scholars suggest that her story resonates with contemporary themes of environmental stewardship, highlighting the need to protect fragile ecosystems like the Arctic. In literature and art, the Kalupalik is often depicted as a figure of both fear and fascination. Her haunting presence a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. As one modern storyteller explains, the Kalupalik is more than a monster. She is a mirror, reflecting our fears and our responsibility to the world around us. As we leave the icy shores haunted by the Kalupalik, another figure emerges from the depths of mythology, one whose story is equally steeped in themes of danger and transformation. From the child-stealing mermaid of the Arctic, we now journey to the sunlit coasts of the Mediterranean, where the sirens with their irresistible songs await to share their tale. As we come to the end of our journey through the world of mythological creatures, it's clear that these beings are far more than just stories. From the labyrinth-dwelling Minotaur to the storm-summoning Thunderbird, each creature we've explored is a window into the hearts and minds of the ancient civilizations that brought them to life. These myths were never just about monsters, they were about the fears, hopes, and values of the people who told them. Whether it was the Greeks grappling with the chaos of the Minotaur or the Inuit respecting the power of Sedna, these stories served as ways to make sense of the world and humanity's place within it. What's truly remarkable is the sheer diversity of these creatures. Across continents and cultures, we see shared themes: fear of the unknown, the struggle between order and chaos, the reverence for nature, yet each myth is uniquely shaped by its cultural context. The Chimera of Anatolia, with its fiery breath, reflects the volcanic landscapes of Lycia, while the gentle Killin of China embodies the ideals of harmony and virtue. These creatures remind us that mythology is not just a collection of tales, but a living, breathing reflection of human experience. But the power of these myths doesn't end with the ancient world. Their influence echoes through art, literature, and even modern media. Think of how the image of Medusa has been reclaimed as a symbol of empowerment, or how the Wendigo has become a metaphor for unchecked greed in contemporary storytelling. These creatures continue to captivate us because they speak to universal truths about who we are, what we fear, and what we aspire to be. So, as we close this chapter, I want to leave you with a question. Which of these 40 mythological creatures resonated with you the most? Was it the cunning Anansi, the protective Taniwa, or perhaps the enigmatic Mami Wata? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into mythology, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an exploration of the stories that shape our world. As the poet Joseph Campbell once said, mythology is the song of the imagination inspired by the energies of the body. These creatures are more than just figments of imagination. They are timeless reminders of the power of storytelling to connect us across time and space. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and until next time, keep exploring the myths that make us who we are.